February. So we're going to just get straight into this. Who has seen the movie? Who has seen the movie Judas and the Black Messiah? Who has seen it? Let me see a show of hands if you've seen it. Right, now, we're going to go into it today. For this film, there's no, basically, I can't to say, oh, it's a spoiler. I'm going to be doing spoilers. This film is a biopic of the life of Mr. Fred, the chairman, I should say, Chairman Fred Hampton, who was assassinated at the young age of 21. And the movie is played by UK actor Daniel Kaluuya, who is the star of the popular movie known as Get Out. He also has a principal role in the Black Panther movie, the Black Panther Marvel, that is. And Daniel Kaluuya is also a lead role in a movie called Queen and Slim. Go and check. I mean, you all should have seen Black Panther already, but go and check out Queen and Slim. I beg you do. You should already have seen Get Out, you know, an anti-lockdown message, Get Out. But it's an awesome film. Now with Judas and the Black Messiah, Daniel Kaluuya, British-born Ugandan, of Ugandan parentage, he got this role. He nailed it, in my opinion, as well. And let me just get straight to the point. He smashed it. He smashed the role. Him and Lakeith Stanfield, they both smashed the role. Now, since we're going to go into it, I want to know who's going to be my first guest to jump on with me so we can begin this review and start looking at some actual facts regarding Fred Hampton. Also, William O'Neill, the agent informant that worked for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And we would like to go into Shaka King, big up Shaka King, who is the director of this movie. And Ryan Coogler, who was the producer of Black Panther. So we're going to go into some facts today. We're going to go into some facts and how does Judas and the Black Messiah film relate to us today in 2020. 21. So, who's going to join me? This is an open platform. Daniel is an amazing actor, that's right. I've had the pleasure of meeting him. And one day, very soon, we're going to get him on this platform. So, who will be the first guest to join me in our breakdown, in our review? We got some guests from America who live around that Oakland area where the Black Panther Party started. So, we have two people who are requesting. So I'm going to go with the first one. I see you, Sweatstorm. I see you, Kende. I see you, 4Juice Films. Big up yourself. So let me just go with Kende. Kende is a teacher, and he's a teacher of Black history. Very important that we look into Black history. This film was very accurate in terms of his historical references to Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party movement of that time, which was 1966. Yes, our first guest for today for the review of the, wow, you got the fro. Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right. You got the Fred Hampton fro. All right. I see you, brother. I see you, King.
Come on.
How you doing, man?
I'm well, brother. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm excellent by the grace of God, brother. I give thanks. You got the Fred Hampton afro, brother. I can see it, man. All power to the people, man. On. I am a revolutionary. Yeah, that's that.
Big up, man. Yes,
so, King, tell us, what did you think? You've seen the film, right?
Yes. I saw it. I saw the film last week, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us from the jump. What did you think of the film?
Oh, the film was brilliant. I think if people don't actually know Daniel Kaluuya, they would be forgiven that he is actually from America. I think he's had a couple of interviews where they actually...
He's from America? Daniel Kaluuya?
No. I said if people don't know him, they would be forgiven to think that he is from America, because he's done enough films where he's had to play an American, really. But the film was brilliantly put together, brilliantly acted, brilliantly directed, and just very well executed. The script, everything. It was amazing. It was amazing. That's a true classic.
Okay, so let's take it from the top. Daniel Kaluuya, actor, English actor, began his career as a teenager in improvisational theatre. A lot of his stuff is self-taught. He subsequently appeared in his first 2 seasons of British television series. Who can name what the 2 first television series is that Daniel Kaluuya appeared in?
2 television series.
The first two.
I can't. I know him from Black Mirror.
Yeah, that's right. One of them is Black Mirror.
Yeah,
and the other one is Skins.
Skins. I haven't watched Skins. On Channel 4.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that. No.
So yeah, Daniel Kaluuya, he was a star in Skins, and he was actually Daniel Kaluuya. What a lot of people don't know, he's a writer. He's a script and screenwriter.
Didn't know that.
So he's done a few things. He also had a lead role in Sucker Punch, which was at the Royal Court Theatre in London. Kaluuya was particularly praised for his performance, and he won both Evening Standard Award and Critics Theatre Award, Outstanding Newcomer. He also won Best Newcomer at the BAFTA Awards 2000 and, from the top of my head, please people forgive me, 2018, 2019 British Newcomer BAFTA Award. He's also been nominated for a Golden Globe and an Academy Award.
Big up Daniel.
That's Daniel Kaluuya. So the movie, he played Fred Hampton. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Let's go through it. So it starts off with the movie opening up with real archive footages of the Black Panther Party. Then it segues nicely on to, well, one for a better word to describe this son of a devil, onto the COINTELPRO FBI director, Mr. J. Edgar Hoover himself. And in the script, and it's played by Martin Sheen. He done a brilliant job.
Yeah, Martin Sheen is brilliant, yeah.
He said, we have to stop the rise of the Black Messiah.
Yes, sir.
Don't you find it funny, Kende, that it's called Judas and the Black Messiah? These are 2 biblical words.
Yeah, because it just feeds into the actual programming and the surveillance at the time. So when I saw Judas and the Black Messiah, obviously they were hailing Fred Hampton as the Black Messiah. And if people read up about Fred Hampton, he took over when Huey P. Newton was in jail, I believe. So he came in up. He was the next one up, and I think Eldred Cleaver had gone to Africa at the time. So
Algeria.
Yeah, Algeria. Him and his wife. So Fred Hampton was the next one up, and Fred Hampton actually wanted to unite the people, really, in his Rainbow Coalition.
That's right, the Rainbow Coalition. A lot of people don't realize that the Rainbow Coalition was consistent of the Latino community.
That's right.
Obviously the Black community, members of the white community, rednecks as well. A lot of people don't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's right.
During that time in 1966 to, oh God, get your years right. In that, especially in the year of 1969, where the Rainbow Coalition was started, right. President Richard Nixon, he was the president at that time. Now, a lot of people want to say, I don't want to get too much in, well, we are in politics. A lot of people will say Donald Trump was the worst president America ever had. I respectfully disagree. If you look at what Richard Nixon did, he was the head of the FBI at the time. Richard Nixon was the overseer of the FBI, which was led by J. Edgar Hoover. Richard Nixon was a Republican.
Yeah,
he was a Republican, you see? And he praised COINTEL program, the surveillance programs that they had on all the black groups. Not only the Black Panther Party, but the Nation of Islam, Push, no, not Push, excuse me, that's going a bit ahead, but the NAACP, all of those different establishments that were there fighting on the behalf of our civil rights.
Yes,
and Fred Hampton was only 21, bro. In the film, he said he was 21. Yeah. A lot of people don't. Go ahead.
No, that's right. Yeah, he was 21. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 21. And a lot of people don't know that William O'Neill, and by the way, William O'Neill's character was beautifully crafted and played by Lakeith Stanfield, bro. He was perfect for that. And a lot of people don't know that he had to get therapy after the actor Lakeith. He had to go and get therapy, bro. Because he was in a lot of conflict in playing a Judas character that sold the plans to the FBI agent so that they can come and shoot Fred Hampton up in December of 1969, 4:45 a.m. in the morning, bro, in front of his pregnant wife. The pregnant wife's name. The pregnant wife's name. Let me just get the right name here, because we're dealing with facts out here, bro. Played by an actress, Dominique Fishback. She plays Deborah Johnson. Deborah Johnson is still alive today, who is the mother of Fred Hampton Jr. Yeah, Trump's a madman, but not as mad as Nixon was. Nixon was different. He was on a different madness.
That's right.
But Deborah Johnson was pregnant with Fred Hampton's son.
Yes, right.
When Fred Hampton, the father, was shot. And I'm saying they could have shot or killed the pregnant, the mother, you know, Deborah Johnson. Beautifully played by actress Dominique Fishback. Big her up all the time. She was recently played in Project M with Jamie Foxx on Netflix. She recently played
Power.
Is that Power? Project Power is called Power?
Yeah, Project Power, yeah. Project Power.
Project Power. Yeah, she's going places, man. She's heavy, she's hard, she was hard. But Lakeith, going back to him now, and by the way, Lakeith's, he's in Get Out as well. Lakeith is the first person you've seen in the movie Get Out. And remember, people, I want Kennedy, I want you to help me out on this one, because what a lot of people don't understand about Hollywood and acting is that when they cast actors, they don't just cast you because you are a good actor or because you may look like the actual role that you're playing, but they cast you based on your work. For example, when you look at Lakeith was in Atlanta, the TV series. Lakeith also, Lakeith, people call him Lakeith, I don't know. Lakeith, American actor, independent drama, Short Term 12. He plays Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. He played, he's out here. I'll just carry on. Sorry, Kenny, we kind of lost you there. Big up, Sabin. I see you, brother. I see you all. Anyone else to join in after Ken, they join in on the review. Join in on the review, man. Put a request in. So yeah, Lakeith, he played the dude that became kidnapped in Get Out.
Yes, that's right.
And Daniel Kaluuya's character saw him at the party.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And had to use the flash.
Yeah, that's right. To bring him out of his, sunken place.
Sunken place. Now I'm going to get onto the movie. We'll get onto the movie, but we have to lay a foundation. Because they don't select actors for films like this without pause. So Lakeith's other movie was called, oh God, it escaped me.
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you, that's it.
Yes, right.
And in that film, people go and watch it. In that film, Sorry to Bother You, he's also playing a dude that is kind of like a double agent.
Yes, but he's in that film, he's a double agent, but he's kind of like, when he gets to this certain position, when he gets to the certain position, he then wants to try and change things. So he's kind of like, he plays a rebellious worker in that movie with
that's right.
With Danny Glover's in that as well.
That's right, Danny Glover. Danny Glover. That's right, not Donald Glover. Danny Glover. That's right. That's right. And Tessa Thompson. So, bro, I'm going to ask you, because people, you know what? There is going to be spoilers. At the end of the day, it's a spoiler because it's an actual event that took place. This is not a movie. This is a film. It's not a movie. It's a film. It's a biopic of Fred Hampton. When you watched the film at the very end, after you saw the shooting of Fred Hampton in his sleep, how did it make you feel? What mood did you get? I mean, in fact, before we get to that, What energy did you get from Fred Hampton's speech portrayed by Danny Kaluuya?
Oh my goodness, I've seen the speech. Anybody's seen that speech? I've actually seen that speech, and the way Daniel plays that speech, you feel like Fred Hampton has now been reincarnated. It's actually my feelings were similar to when I was watching Denzel Washington in Malcolm X. That was the similar way, because the way Denzel Washington played Malcolm X, and because the film was 3 hours long, you just get lost in the fact that, am I watching Malcolm X? So when the shooting came with Malcolm X in the film, it was very similar to the
ultimate ballroom. Yeah, that emotion.
Yeah, it was very similar to when I was watching the Judas and the Black Messiah. I was like, oh no. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not actually happening in real time, but it draws you in emotionally because of, what Fred Hampton meant, not just to black people, but what Fred Hampton meant to the world. So it's important to understand. People need to do some backstory of Fred Hampton, and then they have to do some backstory on the Black Panthers. Because when you read up on the Black Panthers, you understand that they had backing from big stars like Marlon Brando and Jane Fonda. These people were all in their corner. So when Fred Hampton came to take over leadership, it was very feasible that he was going to unite Latinos, Black Americans, and white people.
Yeah,
that was very, very feasible, because the Black Panther Party was a self-defense party for black people. I think people get it wrong when they hear the Black Panther. They think they're against all white people. It wasn't that. They wanted to protect the rights of black people, and they were not adverse to actually uniting with anybody who wants to fight against the unjust system.
Yeah. So it's important to understand that, you know what? Black Panthers was established in 1966, Oakland, California. We've got a guest coming on later on, Kende, a friend of mine who's an actress who is born and raised in Oakland, California, who knows about the Black Panthers. And it's important for people to understand the Black Panther Party was established and born out of the idea of protecting themselves against police brutality.
Yeah, that's right.
Under the American Constitution, so the right to bear arms.
Yeah, that's right.
They weren't there to go and inflict and cause violence and harm. They were there like a security team and force to protect the community. It's very important to understand that Guardian Angels, which was a group, and I think they're still around, the Guardian Angels, which used to walk the subways of New York and wear berets similar to the Black Panther Party, that is an idea that came out of the Black Panther Party,
yeah, that's right.
Even their uniform, that they were armed. The Black Panther Party is also responsible for the free breakfast program.
Yeah.
And they were also responsible for, guess what, sickle cell, providing sickle cell treatment to the black community in Chicago and all around North America. Guess what? After the Black Panther Party was somewhat dismantled and somewhat dissolved, Nixon initiated free breakfast programs.
Yeah, after the back of that,
Nixon, Also, there was more of an energy to pay heed to black medical concerns.
Mm-hmm.
But I think just as we conclude with you, because I know we've got a whole heap of other guests coming on, and I know a lot of people want to come and say what they feel about the film, and let's go into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to understand that the Black Panther Party were likened onto the Ku Klux Klan. Two different people.
Two different organizations.
And I want to ask you, sir, with regards to the agent, Judas, the Black Messiah, do we still have that kind of thing going on now? All right, hold on. It's kind of, your hands free. It's kind of cracking up. It's cracking up, bro. Is it off?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was getting into it, that happens. People, we've got some gremlins, we might even have COINTELPRO Pro up on this, listening to our thing right now.
I'm telling you. All right, now with the Black Judases, definitely we still have them there. and they're going to be there forevermore, because of the fact that when it comes to strong, healthy Black people and strong, healthy Black organizations who want to help. Remember, one thing we have to understand is these Black organizations, the Fruit of Islam, the Move 9, the Black Panthers, all of them want to help an oppressed people. They haven't said they want to do any harm to anybody else. They just want to empower those who are disempowered. So definitely there were a lot of Black spies in those movies who exist up until today.
Yes, absolutely, brother. So in conclusion, briefly, brother, how did because film's about how you feel. How did you feel after you watched the film?
I think...
How did it make you feel?
Oh, it made me feel elated in one aspect, because you see strong Blackness in the movie. That elates you, but it makes you feel so sad at the same time, because the person has been cut down in his prime, not by a stranger or general public, by the very government that's supposed to serve and protect the whole community. So I was elated and I was sad, disheartened at the same time.
Brother, thank you very much. Keep on doing the brilliant work you're doing. I see all the books behind you, brother. I know you're a reader, and readers are leaders, man. Stay locked in, brother. We're going to bring in our next guest all the way from North America.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
So stay locked in. Thank you, my brother. Catch up, yeah? All right, so that's Kende, educator, school teacher, historian. I see you, Kevin, man. Big up. We want you up on this, brother. We know you're an actor as well. So we got our guest coming in all the way from North America. We're going to try and question everything as much as we can. Her name is Asia. She lives in North America. She grew up in that area where the Black Panther Party started. So just before we bring her in, I just want to talk a little bit about Fred Hampton. Someone said murdered he was, and all charges they used to justify their raid were dropped. That's very true. And I believe Fred Hampton's wife, Deborah, and the son, Fred Hampton Jr., still alive now in his 50s. They were paid out 1.8 million for damages, you know. But anyway, let's talk about Fred Hampton. Frederick Allen Hampton, born August the 30th, 1948, December the 4th, died December the 4th, 1969, was an American activist, Marxist, Leninist, revolutionary socialist. He came to prominence in Chicago as the chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, deputy chairman of the National Black Panther Party. In this capacity, he founded the Rainbow Coalition, which was the unification of all the different people of all nationalities. A prominent multicultural political organization that initially included the Black Panthers, Young Patriots, and the Young Lords, and alliances among major Chicago street gangs to help them enlighten and work for social change. This is exactly what Fred Hampton was assassinated for. He was bringing people together. He was a Rainbow Coalition. He was bringing all the street organizations, aka gangs, together. The counterintelligence program led under J. Edgar Hoover, wanted to make sure that they silenced that young man. And not only he was silenced by J. Edgar Hoover's program, guess who else was murdered? Malcolm X was murdered by the counterintelligence program. Martin Luther King was murdered by the counterintelligence program. Anyone else can tell me who else? Because it is Black History Month in America. Marcus Garvey was deported and murdered by the counterintelligence program. Yes, he was. And guess who they called Marcus Garvey? They called Marcus Garvey the Black Moses. Why do they keep using terms like Moses and Messiah and Judas when it comes to watching Edgar Mevers? That's right, Edgar Mevers. Yeah? They assassinated all of the leaders, all of them, of the 60s. And in Marcus Garvey, 1919. J. Edgar Hoover was the director of the Federal Bureau of the Bureau. It was called the Bureau of Investigation and the General Intelligence Division. And he targeted a man called the Black Moses Marcus Garvey. And this is in movies, this is in books. They don't want another Messiah rising up. Let's bring in Asia from America, and let's talk a little bit about the movie and its meaning. We have to big up Shaka King. We have to big up all of the cast members that were in this movie. All power to the people, man. I love the afro. All power to the people. I am, say it with me, people. I am a revolutionary.
A revolutionary.
I
am
a revolutionary.
a revolutionary.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
How's my American accent? How are you doing, sister? How are you doing? How's it going, baby girl? How's it going?
Good, very good. God is good all the time.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself and let's get into this movie.
Well, I'm Ajahana de Vargas. Of course, you family call me Asia. I am an actress in America. I recently won internationally Best Actress for a project, Banger, and I am directing as well. Directed a couple of independent films and have a new project that I am directing, getting ready for summer, spring, called The Lounge by Michael T. Miller in Los Angeles. So,
come on.
Things go.
If I could fly out there and be a part of the project, if there was a part of me, I'll be there, man.
Absolutely. You know, I always have something for you. And to have you fly over, I want it to be a good role. It has to be a great role.
Blessings. Do you know what, sister? You look like you're a part of the Black Panther Party with your afro. First Kende, now you. What's going on?
Hey, you know what? These are the roots of who I am. And I thank you so much, Rosemary. God bless you, Queen.
So, sister, where are you now, right at this moment?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, I love Atlanta, man. Stand up, ATL. Oh, yeah. The ATL. Is it like that? Is it like that? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Stand up. Yeah, big you up. Congratulations on your projects to come and big up for your award. And you look absolutely gorgeous. You look stunning. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
So you also, because we met in Los Angeles, Crenshaw.
In the parking lot of the Grove Mall in front of Starbucks.
Ooh, Starbucks. And well, you took me all around. You looked after me. You showed me Burbank. You showed me Hollywood. You showed me Crenshaw. You showed me Oakland, everywhere. And this sister, man, she really looked after me when I came over to United States of America. So I think we're gonna get straight into this film now. You've seen the film, right?
I've watched the documentaries. I haven't seen the film yet.
Awesome.
I have been completely aware of the Black Panthers, though, and followed them over the years, and actually used some footage in the first film that I personally directed called Money Girl. So I've been very familiar with the Black Panther Party, what they have created for our people of color and the movement, the war against them. And it has been, that war has been ever continuous, still to this day.
Are they still around now? Is there a Black Panther Party?
You know, there isn't, and it's really painful that there isn't. However, there is underground, unified communities of strong Black intellectuals that are educators, but it's unfortunate that there's so many under the radar right now, because once they go public or they're known, they're murdered.
Exactly. J. Edgar Hoover and Martin Sheen, you know, he played J. Edgar Hoover very well in the movie. J. Edgar Hoover said, under the presidency of Richard Nixon, that the Black Panther Party is the most threatening movement in America. And America was dealing with Asia, they were dealing with China, they were dealing with Vietnam. They said the black, not the Ku Klux Klan, that have a history of lynchings, not the Ku Klux Klan, that have a history of burnings, murdering of many black people over so long. But the Black Panther Party is the most threatening group to the United States of America. That's what J. Edgar Hoover said.
Well, I know for sure, just in following documentaries and, you know, really studying, I was a part of a family growing up. It was like my adopted family. And there were two professors, Robert Weems and Clenora Hudson Weems, of African womanism and African studies. Please check them out, folks. They have books. They're excellent educators on Black culture and history. And what I will say is that we have seen so much of the downfall of our people. And the Black Panther Party, what they did was they had some rules and precedents that they lived by.
10-point program.
To protect the Black woman and children, and knowing that there was no police, no government that was going to protect us. And it was up to us as a culture, as the Black woman, the Black man, to make sure that our own were protected and that we had at least essential health care and housing. And so we've come so far away from that. But that's why the Black Panthers were so, when they came out, it was needed. It wasn't too long after slavery was supposedly stopped, which it has not been, but, you know, in front, it was stopped. But the thing is, our people have been a culture of such strength. And when we get together, we're unstoppable. And that's what Black Panthers were all about. That's what
that's right.
All about. We got together and we were pushing for a unity and raising the children. And even though, you know, like I was watching last night this documentary, and they were talking about the food program that the Black Panthers had started for the in the south side of Chicago. The FBI came in and they created an aggressive plan to go against the Black Panther Party just with feeding the children breakfast, because they knew that at the beginning of the day at breakfast, those children were being fed empowering knowledge and words to love themselves and to be who they are, accepting handouts, food from the hierarchy government, but actually being, they were given food, being given power and knowledge by their community. And the FBI came in and had an attack against that. And so the Black Panther has always been feared. And it's so sad. That's why they murdered him the way that they did. They murder any great leader. You come out and you speak, you have to be, at this point, aware that it's very likely that you will be a sacrifice for your people, because they're going to kill you.
You know what? It's funny, not how funny, but it's funny that you say that, because when I watch the film, and when I watch all these films, these are films in terms of Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, now Fred Hampton. Many people didn't know about Fred Hampton before this movie. But the one thing I will say is that a lot of these films, when you watch them, they're not based off fiction, they're all based off fact. And in a lot of ways, those of us who, when we watch these films, the message that we're getting is, wow, if you stand up, then that's it, you're out of it, they're gonna execute you. And my thing is this: we're all gonna pass away, we're all gonna go on to the next dimension, next life, you know, we're all gonna die. And my thing is, Fred Hampton achieved so much, in 21 years, beautifully exhibited and acted and portrayed by Daniel Kaluuya. I'm going to get onto the British American accent kind of thing as well in a second.
Yes.
Fred Hampton was executed, excuse me, in 1969. He united all the street organizations together. He brought them as one. They put a man called William O'Neill, a black man, an FBI agent. And in the film, it shows how they coerced him to go against his own kinfolk.
As an informant.
By blackmailing him, because he used William O'Neill, the agent, the FBI agent, would go and steal cars and pretend to be an FBI agent. The movie was film was very accurate. But then when he was caught by the highway patrol, they coerced him and said, look, you're looking at 3 to 5 years, you're looking impersonating an FBI officer and Grand Theft Auto. So they used that to coerce him to go against one of the black organizations at that time. And there's a lesson in this for us people. They used fear on a William O'Neill, who was 17 years old at that time, to then go against a movement that was giving breakfast programs, that was giving free medical health care. This was before Obamacare, people. This was before Obamacare. The Black Panther Party, largely led mostly by women that look like this sister here, with the afro, was providing health care in terms of tackling sickle cell and giving free food in the hood, as they would say. Then they used coerced another young black man to be an agent provocateur. And then, so what is the message to our young people today who may be struggling financially, who may have done a few things wrong? And today, gangs in America or in Europe, England, some gang members, and this is facts, are still working for the various different agencies. How can we empower our young people that they make the right choice not to be used?
I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm not God, but I have so much of him in me, and I'm such an open vessel.
Fred Hampton or William O'Neill? You said so much.
I have so much of God in me, and it's the ideas of what good can be done. There are enough black wealthy people, okay, and there's a responsibility. I'm speaking to any black African heritage, Afro-Latino, African, any broad spectrum Egyptian, any type of, even on the cusp of Africa connected, Saudi Arabia, all of these roots of who we are as people of color. There is enough wealth out there where there should not be poverty in our community. There should be a foundation where the young people are not going to gangs. There is enough for everyone to do. There is enough to create jobs for the young and the hungry, because what's beautiful about young people is they're hungry. They're hungry. And if you show them, they will go. It's like if you build it, they will come. If you give them opportunity, they're so hungry. They're going to go for it. And so there needs to be a foundation of support. And
I'm going to cut in real quick. I know you're making a beautiful point, but I have to say this. Are you saying we have failed our young people that has made the William O'Neills?
Yes.
The Judases?
Yes.
Wow.
Of the people that have, you're supposed to pay it forward. Okay. We're riding on the shoulders of giants. Okay. So anyone that has made it since slavery of any form, I don't care if you've become if you've become a successful small business owner, or if you have become a Fortune 500 black company, you have only succeeded because you have rode on the shoulders of your ancestors and those that have come before you, and you're supposed to, as a duty, you're supposed to pay it forward, and especially for our community. Okay, one thing I'm gonna get right back on that. I'm not far off, but one thing that I'm so tired of is this high nose up in the air mentality of, if you're Black and you've made it, you want to say, oh, well, I struggled and made it, so you'll have to figure it out. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. It is the wrong way to be. We have a responsibility to show our community how to get wealth, how to support our community to where they don't have to go outside of the community, hence being vulnerable to being oppressed, by the government, or manipulated by the government, or being used by the government in any way. So we're supposed to take care of our own. There's enough Black wealth, and when I say Black, heritage, the roots, there is enough Black money. If you just took every athlete that has come into money, if they all put in $150,000 and they've got $30 million contracts, if they all put in just a minimum of $100,000, do you know what that could do for the community, for just the youth, the young men and women that are out there toting guns around and robbing just to feed their family or to feel some sense of family? It's an atrocity, is what it is.
I'm going to quickly come in. So what you're saying is, because I didn't look at it from that angle. I saw William O'Neill on the in his documentary. Big up, Stop the Silence. Big up, Stop the Silence. This is Asia, all the way from stateside actress. Listen, I saw William O'Neill. I didn't feel sorry. I had no sympathy for him. I was like, rest in piss. Rest in piss. That's what I was saying, literally. And Fred Hampton Jr.'s son was like, yeah, we went to the funeral of William O'Neill because William O'Neill committed suicide upon the release of an interview that he done in 1991, his first ever TV interview. After the interview, he committed suicide. And the son, Fred Hampton Jr., said, we went to the funeral to pay our disrespect. The son of Fred Hampton Jr. said, and he's well within his right to say what he said, he's lost his father, went to the funeral of William O'Neill, the agent, FBI agent, and said, yeah, we went there to pay our disrespect. So I'm of that energy. But what you just said there is giving me another perspective, is that collectively, over here in England, we've got a footballer called Marcus Rashfield. I'm not a football fan. He's a football player. You say soccer, but it's football. But you say soccer. And he has petitioned the government to start free breakfast programs.
It should be.
He no doubtedly earns a lot of money every week as a football player. And he's received racist tweets, racist responses just because he's pushed for programs and because he's using his own finance. That's one athlete. What is it about the athletes and the actors, us entertainers and those who have money? What is it about us as a community that we just don't go ahead and do it? Because William O'Neill is a victim in a lot of ways. You've given me that perspective. Because he was a young boy, robbing, trying to survive, and he was coerced by this awesome power known as the FBI and said, if you don't do this, we're going to send you to prison. Yeah? So that is partly our failure. Are you saying that's our failure and our responsibility as to why the William O'Neills are created?
It's not partly. We have to be 100% real with ourselves. Just like, in our everyday personal life, if I'm wrong, no one wants to be wrong, but if I'm wrong, the way to build and to be better in my love life, to my business life, and to the life of my people, I'm wrong. I need to do better. I want to be better. And so for our community, it is 100%. Here I am. I'm one woman, one mother of two children. And the way that I've raised my daughters to, at least at minimum, know the value of who they are as young women of color and to have a confidence in their voice when they step out into the world. If I'm just one mother, How much can so many of us, mothers and fathers in our community, do? We can get out here and say, yes, okay, first of all, feeding the children breakfast, there should be no one. Look at the disheartening um, view of that. Feeding children breakfast, that color shouldn't even come into play. It's a feeding children food for breakfast to start their day. I mean, you need food. That's a minimal need. That's the basic need to feed the children. So that should never be an issue. But if that's one football player, soccer player, how many are there? There is no reason for there to be such poverty, such lack. And in our community, we have even acquired enough Black doctors and nurses. We should have our own hospitals. We should have our own, we could own medical coverage and insurance. We could have something to treat our own people, healthy eating programs. There just needs to be more. And the only way that it's going to happen is we have to start calling people out.
That's right. That's right. You're absolutely right, sister. So just before we move on to our next guest, we've got to keep you on for a bit. We have to, because you're all over. What time is it over there? About 12, 1 o'clock now, is it?
Yeah, 12:51.
12:51. Warm, the weather's warm, isn't it? Damn. So listen, so Fred Hampton, yeah, he achieved all of that. And 21 years of age. And there's a lot of other young Fred Hamptons out there.
Yes.
We need to provide for them. So let's get on to the part of Danny Kaluuya, British actor who's played Get Out. He was in Queen and Slim. He also was in the Black Panther movie, Marvel movie. I think there's something the universe is telling him something, because he's made a lot of good decisions. Now, I've got something I want to bring up with my American cousins, my family. There's been an argument about British actors taking y'all roles. There's this argument going on, and I want to see what people think about it. Is it relevant or isn't it relevant? Is it more relevant that the individual actor can play the role, or is it just, no, we should give these roles, these iconic roles, like Harriet Tubman played by Cynthia Erivo, Dr. Martin Luther King played by David Oyelowo, Malcolm X, the new Malcolm X is played by, my God, Kingsley Badea in the One Night in Miami. These are British actors playing iconic Black roles. So there's a debate going on around saying, well, why are these roles going to other than Black actors who are not American? How do you feel about British actors taking your roles? So-called taking your roles, I should say. Okay.
Well, first I want to say an actor's life is an emotional roller coaster, and it's a painful life, and we're highly overlooked and extremely underpaid and devalued until someone knows who we are. So as an actor, I would say it's not so important about British actors taking American roles. I believe it's about an actor being qualified and being present and embracing that body of work. That's important. And if you're British and you can pull off that American accent, then hey, you deserve to get the part. I do feel also, I'm definitely going to come to London and take some roles. So, people will always say. The thing is, I feel like the bigger issue is not about British actors taking American acting roles. I feel there's bigger issues in colorism of people taking roles that don't belong even in the cultural block of the role that they get, or too many role reversals of culture, having an Asian play a role that was for a Black man.
Yeah.
And not racist. This is not, I'm just keeping it 100, that there's bigger issues than an
Facts.
American actor or actress playing a British actor or role, or a British actor playing an American role. There's so many great British actors, and I feel that we have great actors in America. We really do. Oh, thank you. I plan to come and do some movies there. I feel like...
Exactly. Jesus Christ was played by Jimmy Caviezel.
Yes.
And Jesus is, we know now, all of us should know Jesus. I'm not even going to say he's a man of color. Jesus looked like me.
Exactly.
Mary looked like you.
You know what?
Yeah, Jesus looked like me, Mary looked like you. So Jimmy Caviezel was playing it, and he done a good, look, I'm going to be real. The Passion of Christ, directed by Mel Gibson, acted by Jimmy Caviezel, in terms of the acting for the script, was wonderful, was great. But let's be honest. Let us stop portraying what he's not. He wasn't a Caucasian, he wasn't Middle Eastern, he was black.
Yes.
Everybody knows that now. Facts.
His hair was like ours. So, you know, the thing is, actors, yes, division is still here. Actors deserve that opportunity. I feel that, you know,
you don't have a problem with us coming over, taking your roles. No. You don't think it should be handed to African Americans first and foremost.
Okay.
Those kind of iconic characters like Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, Kwame Ture. Yeah, Christian Bale was playing Moses. Absolutely right. Welshman.
If there was an
good actor, but
if they qualified in America, I feel like they need to get those opportunities. I feel that it's all about opportunity. Everyone deserves an opportunity. And I feel that if they're here in America and they are qualified and they can deliver, I believe it's about deliver. I will say this, I don't believe that they didn't even have an opportunity to audition for it. I don't believe that. But the way the industry is also, it's about politics. It's the politics of who's going to draw the attention to the film. Who's going to draw the attention. And sometimes there's an unknown that is American that could play that role, but he's going to be overlooked, or she's going to be overlooked because she's not a name, or he's not a name yet to the world that could carry the film. So that's the unfortunate political downfall that we deal with in the entertainment business.
Cool. All right, so getting back onto this William O'Neill situation where he was an agent informant on the behalf of FBI. Let's bring that into Monday.
He was so
Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's one. He's one. Evidence says that he's, they call him a rat, a snitch. So would you say he and the likes of him well, why did he snitch? I mean, is that the same thing? Would you put that in the same kind of light, that he's working for a certain authorities and, as they would say on the street, he's ratting people out?
Okay. So
is it the same thing?
I feel like this. A rat is a rat. There's many different kinds of rats, but a rat's a rat. Okay. And, you know, there's always something that we don't know. Now, we're in the public. We weren't inside that case. We don't know. We know that Tekashi 6ix9ine, there was issues about, you know, his mother, his, you know, being kidnapped. There was deep things that made him turn on the people.
Coercion again. Right? Coercion.
So the thing is, if you're dealing with, you know, someone taking my mama, you know, that's going to be a problem. But he chose that life. And so when you choose that life, there's a code that you must live by. So he's definitely a snitch. And I believe that, you know, I don't want to put, you know, death on somebody, but I feel like his days are numbered.
Here's another thing as well, regarding this whole energy of the Black Judas. You're from Los Angeles, California. So Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was murdered by someone of his own skin folk. Not his kinfolk, but his skin folk.
Well, that's
another example of a Black Judas.
But okay.
Sister, before you talk, I'm just going to quickly Carry on, please give your exegesis. But yeah, go into that.
Nipsey was murdered, not just by some other, but he was definitely used as a front hitman for political issues that are behind the scenes in the streets of LA, behind the LAPD. And it happens far too often. It happens far too often. We're seeing murders like this. And he was someone that was loved in his community, very beloved, you know, by his family. And he had a great plan for that area, which, you know, it's kind of run down. It's the hood. You know, I would go over there to the Chinese spot, and they got the Louisiana fried chicken. I would go actually into his store and, you know, pay my cell phone bills. I would go into his store.
So did you meet him? You met Nipsey, yeah?
Yes, I knew him. I knew him a little bit, you know, and I knew.
You met him a little bit, or
I knew him. I would say that I spent some time having conversation with him, and I was in close proximity with him on numerous occasions. That's what I'll say, where we actually had.
And he was doing Black Panther-like stuff in the community.
Yes,
business.
Actually, went to Marcus Garvey School. It's a black. And on this, I have something to say adjacent to it, that his daughter and my two daughters, same school, Marcus Garvey, that's on Slauson. And it is a small black-owned.
Yeah.
Not getting the funding that it needs. And John Singleton's daughters went there. There is black money in that city, and they're not funding that school. That is one of the only black private schools, and they are lacking. The tuition is only $1,000 a month, and they're not. It's probably a little more now, but it's not getting the support that it needs. They can only go up to 7th grade. They could go all the way through to high school. It's not getting enough support. But yes, he and I, we would be there at many different times supporting our children. And he was a wonderful father, a wonderful black man. I mean, a wonderful, for real, wonderful black man in the community. And we need to see more of that. There are more of them out there, but you see what happens. Once they want to start rebuilding and changing their community, they're murdered.
Wow, this is it. And I think that's a scare tactic that obviously used to use it on a slave plantation, kill the leader, so that to make an example to the rest of the slaves not to rebel, not to stand up against tyranny. And, you know, I think Malcolm X said it. Malcolm X said that there's no such thing as a bloodless revolution. And I love what Fred Hampton said in the film, or the portrayal of Fred Hampton portrayed by Danny Kaluuya. When you watch the film, it says politics is got the quote right now. War is politics without bloodshed. No, politics is war without bloodshed. And politics is war without bloodshed. And war and politics, oh God, war without politics is bloodshed. Is that right? Oh God, someone help me out here.
Exact words on a street interview. He said those exact words on a street interview. He did. He said about politics is war, and war is the result of politics. And it's true. It's facts. We see it every day still.
Yeah. Oh, the super guest. Oh, this gorgeous, beautiful guest of mine.
I got a photo. I'm Aja Hunt.
Is none other than, any questions for our guest who's in the stateside right now? We're talking about the Fred Hampton story, the review of the film called Judas and the Black Messiah. And I love your perspective in terms of it's our responsibility to provide for our young people so they don't have to go and do dumb nonsense, then become a Judas. It's our responsibility equally then to keep providing for our young people so that because there's millions of Fred Hamptons out there. Fred Hampton was only 21 years of age. Now, getting on to the NOI, the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is very strong in America. Malcolm X, it was said that at the time, a lot of people say that Malcolm X was murdered by black people. Everyone knows that. But what I like about this movie, it shines light on the fact that not only Fred Hampton was murdered or the Black Panther Party was infiltrated by the COINTEL program led by J. Edgar Hoover, but also the Nation of Islam was infiltrated as well. The Nation of Islam was infiltrated, especially at the time of Malcolm X. See, a lot of people want to blame the nation for killing Malcolm, when in fact there were people placed inside the organization to create seeds of dissension and divide and rule. Even also, being that you're from California, the Bloods and the Crib, they weren't a gang that were fighting and warring with each other, from what I read. Initially, they were a community group. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. It was all about because the broken homes and the drugs.
I'm sorry, pause a minute. I just want to tell everybody, when I went to LA, I was like rolling with my sister right here, man. We were going to some places. It was me and John. John's on this live as well. And we were like, people are like, ooh, them, ooh, like, there was a bit of energy for a couple of seconds, because obviously they don't know who we are. I'm like, right, okay, we're far from the ends, we're far from our area right now, but it was all love when we were in Crenshaw. I felt at home when I was in Inglewood, Crenshaw, Oakland, and I just felt so at home. I felt so safe over there. It was love, it was family. Go ahead, sister, regarding the Bloods and the Crips being a community group.
So yeah, when crack cocaine came in, it came through aggressively. It was the greatest killer. You know, it destroyed my family. I was affected. You know, from the 70s or late 70s, early 80s, even up into the late 80s. You know, families were being destroyed. Parents were getting off on that dope, aunties, uncles, and it was just breaking down the whole family pyramid. And so the thing about it is a lot of gangs came in to be that big brother, big sister program, but in the hood and on a street level. And they had to supply, they had to feed the kids, they would help the community, but they also had to make money. So it was like a double-edged sword. They would come in, they were in the community, they didn't have to come in, they were in the hood, they were in the Jordan Downs and the you know, and they were in Watson, Compton. There was this need for money, and the government brought in crack cocaine and guns, and there was hood wealth that was gained from that. But at the same time, here they are taking care of the youngins, but then they're also getting the young ones to go out and sell dope to help bring more money into the community. But they're selling dope in the community, so they're destroying the family structure, but they're also gaining some sort of wealth and something for the younger kids to look up to. So it was a total double-edged sword, and it just destroyed our people for so many years. Like it destroyed the family structure completely.
Yeah, there's a Netflix documentary. It talks about crack cocaine and how it infiltrated in the community. And you're so right. Again, this counterintelligence program, and I'm going to say this, I believe is still in full effect right now.
That's what we were talking about. It's 100% the counterintelligence program that the FBI started from the breakfast lunches for the children. It is in full effect right now. It is happening. It is happening now, and we have to be careful.
Absolutely, and that's why I think this film is so timely. It's right on time with all of the Black Lives Matter stuff going on. So Fred Hampton, you know, he united the gangs. He brought the gangs together to do positivity. In the film, they were called the Crowns. In the film, they were called the Crowns. I've done some research in it, but they were called the Chicago gangs that worked with the Black Panthers were the Young Patriots, Young Lords. And Chicago street. I don't even want to say gangs. I want to say street organizations. They were the Young Patriots, Young York Lords, and they were there. You're right. They were protecting their community. And even the East Coast and West Coast people, we got to understand. To me, that's got all of the ingredients or tellings of COINTELPRO, putting people against people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we have to be so wise, and that's why I think this movie, Judas and the Black Messiah, is so relevant for our learning. You know? But sister, I'm not going to keep you. I'm not going to keep you. Anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we bring on our next guest? I know you're stateside right now, and we want to just say thank you. But anything that you would like to say lastly before we relinquish? We've got to bring you back on, obviously.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it's a couple things that I want to say. Just you guys, please continue to keep supporting Courtney. He's just an amazing soul. Sometimes you only see people just from the front, in front of the lens.
So,
Blessed to know him and see him behind the scenes as a human being. And it's hard to find a better human being. And I just want to say, keep supporting him. Definitely keep a lookout for my films. You know, I've been nominated 5 times, won 4 times, and I definitely want to do more films. So any of you over there that would love to have me, I would love to be a part of your films. And I'm also managing a music artist. My fiance, his name is Freeze Too Cold. He's on all music.
yes, yes.
Check him out. He's got a song called I Don't Think They Ready, and it's very conscious. So please check out Freeze Too Cold. And I look forward to seeing everybody. Be blessed. And I want to end on this note.
Go ahead, sister.
You do, to everyone watching, you do what you can do to be responsible and make change in your community. Children are the most vulnerable. So it's up to you. If you have a good heart and a strong mind, you can enhance and change their life, and they will never forget you. There are a lot of unloved children out there that need this guidance. And if you just believe, like someone believed in Fred Hampton, so you've got to believe in them. You are the catalyst that is going to change the world. So you do what you can do to make change in your community. You don't like it, you fix it.
Go ahead. I want you to carry on. It's good, man. It's brilliant.
That's it. That's it. If you don't like it, you can fix it. And we all have to do our part. You know, you don't have to be a part of the solution and not be a part of the problem. Don't get involved in the mess. It starts inside the homes. Do what you can to build the family structure again. It's one day at a time, and it's about making those steps to build your families one step at a time and build your community one step at a time. And if you
absolutely,
if you have any level of wealth, middle class wealth, or if you're very wealthy, there is definitely something that you can do. Take a drive in the hood of your community. You got some friends that are connected to something that where there's poverty. Do what you can do to outside the box and start doing what you can do to make change. It's possible. It starts with one person. So if many of us get together, or just a group of 5 kings and 5 queens, what can we do? And it's possible. Start, thinking about being creative and innovative and to make the change, so we could see more leaders, more possibilities flourish.
These young people today are leaders, and that's why I believe they've been targeted from then, the 60s. Now, the stuff. I mean, if I was to go into the surveillance stuff that I've been reading about, what they do and what they use, and I'm sure it's to blow our minds. But you're absolutely right.
Say this: the strategic intelligence that they're doing. They know that our culture loves marijuana so much. I want to get off on this note. They are putting things in the marijuana to weaken our Black men and to turn them more feminine. I don't want to discriminate or make anyone feel away, but there is something being put in the marijuana that is stripping down the
masculine energy.
Yeah, the masculine gene, the testosterone, the X and Y chromosomes that make us male and female. There's something happening. So you know, if you're into marijuana, I'm all for it. I love marijuana. But what I want to say is be careful and really get into a position where you can grow your own, because you don't know what they're selling you, and they're stripping our community.
I just want to say that over here it's not legal, as far as I know, to grow. I know in California and America's a bit different state by state still. But yeah, facts though, there's the difference with marijuana and what we call over here skunk weed or purple haze, what you guys will call kush. That is all some chemical stuff. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're absolutely right though. Attacking the functionings of our body to make us other than what we are. Sister, I want to say thank you and big up. We've got to bring you back on again, and we've got to bring on another guest. Thank you very much. Love and peace to your daughters as well, yeah? And please, everyone go follow, like, subscribe to AJ so you can see all of our content. Thank you, sister. Love you. I'll be in touch, okay?
Okay, God bless. Bye.
Peace. God bless. God bless. So people, we just had, and you know what, sister? Before you go, oh, she's gone. She's gone. Is she there? Gone? Oh no, she's gone. She's there. Okay. Anyone else that wants to jump in? Jump in. We're going to talk about the film. We're going to have a review of the film. We're having a review of Fred Hampton. We're having a review of the cast and those who helped to make the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. We're having some connection issues going on here. What I was going to go in is, why do you think they're referring to many of the black leaders as Moses, as Messiah, as all of these different biblical names? It's very deep. That's to tell you that FBI and all these people, they study our culture, they study certain things. So who's going to be next on the line? We're doing a review of the film Judas and the Black Messiah. Judas and the Black Messiah. And Fred Hampton. Did you know Fred Hampton was a part of the NAACP of the Black Panther Party, obviously the Black Panther Party. Yo,
my G.
My G, how you doing? Fresh,
right?
Everything clean like
you know we do. You know we do. You all right, yeah?
All good, brother. All good, all good, all good. You are first guest on today. So you seen the movie? You seen the film, yeah?
Bruv, I'm watching it now. I'm watching as we speak. What do you mean? It's the third time, bro. It's the third time. Come on.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Briefly, give us the whole story, tippity top from the top to the end, as a filmmaker, as an audience member. Go ahead, brother.
You know what? Don't get it twisted. A lot is being said about the acting, and the acting is amazing. Now, Daniel Kaluuya is sick. But my guy who plays William O'Neill.
Whoa! Come on, Lakeith Stanfield, bro. He smashed it.
Do you know what it is? Because one thing you realize is that you see your favorite character. If you don't like him, it's hard to like it. I never used to like Ben Affleck for ages because of certain roles he used to play. He didn't do nothing wrong, but you know that's a great actor. And the scene where my man's in the car and them are sticking on him in the car when you know when they go to see the other group and then they find out he's been robbing.
That's right. Go ahead.
And the sister sticks the gun to him.
That's right.
That's
and Dominique Fawn.
You feel it in your heart for him because they're about to find out, but he needs to get found out. But you feel it for him because he's such a good actor. Like, he's an amazing actor. Do you get what I'm saying? And man, it's not like villains, you know, like if it's the Joker, and it's not like that. My man is a snake for our community, you know, historically he's a snake, you know.
You talk William O'Neill.
How did this actor make us fear for him in that moment? Beautiful writing, beautiful acting. You understand? To make someone that should be hated, that you fear for them, bro. That's you can't think that's beautiful acting. Do you get what I'm saying?
Come on. I agree. And you know what? They so rightly, you know, he definitely deserves a nomination. Lakeith Stanfield did the way he played it from an actor's point of view, bro. Because he had issues, you know. He had issues doing that role. A lot of people, when you watch the film, you're playing a man who's responsible for having Fred Hampton murdered and other members of the Black Panther Party. Not only that, they shot the police, Chicago Department Police in 1969, shot that house up 4:30, 4:45 and released 99 bullets early in the morning, bruv. His pregnant mother, wife was there. And you gotta play the way he played that role. Like, it's all in his eyes. It's like he's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. You can see the conflict. You can see the conflict.
You know what? You know what? It's easy. It's easy to jump on there. Easy. No, don't get twisted. Piece of shit. And I'll tell you why he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
In real life, why he's a piece of shit? Because when you see that documentary,
okay.
when you see that documentary,
you mean William O'Neill?
Yeah, William O'Neill. The reason why he's a piece of shit in real life is because they did that documentary on Fred Hampton, and then they interview him, and you know they title him as an informant and etc. And they asked him, "What will you tell your son? What will you tell your son in years to come about what you did in this movement?" And he says, "I was a part of it. He was a part. I was a crucial part of it." That's what he says it in the thing. But he doesn't say, "I made a mistake. I live with that for the rest of my life." He didn't say none of that. He didn't say that. He never had accountability, and that is the main problem, not only with him, but with the police. You understand? With the governments, like, it's accountability. That's what I think that comes down to, is accountability. How is police going in to assassinate Fred Hampton and no one ain't going to jail for it? You think because you paid them 1.8 mil, that goes away? No one's getting done for murder. Is that what you're telling us? We know J. Edgar Hoover was setting up all of these things, and you're still going to honor this man. But the government ain't racist, and you're not prejudiced. But you're going to still put this person in high regard because what, he was FBI. So what, man's exempt from accountability? This is the problem moving forward. Accountability is the problem moving forward. And they have to understand, when it comes to rage, when it comes to certain people in the community, it's not that we're ready to burn down nothing, you know. It's if you're going to do something wrong in the eyes of the law, same way we have to deal with it, you should go jail too. You should go jail. You should rot in jail. What are you telling me? I go and get recruited as some police officer or some government, whatever, and I don't go jail for nothing?
Come on.
That's not how this thing's supposed to work, and that's why we're outraged. You get what I'm saying? That's why people feel how they feel. And don't get me wrong, it ain't no race thing. Black people as well. Listen, if you go kill someone, do something, you have to go jail, blood.
And
you have to go jail.
Facts. And this is why Prince Charles, who made a speech to the BAME community, saying, "Oh, you should take vaccine." And I'm very, you know, it's a good opportunity for the BAME community to, you know, exploit the opportunity of taking this vaccine. This wonderful thing which will take us out of this current situation. Prince Charles, shut your mouth. Prince Charles, I said, shut your gob, Prince Charles. When since Prince Charles care about black people?
Listen.
Yeah.
They
see, this is the hypocrisy and the double standards. This is why black people are like, I'm good. I'm not taking the vaccine. Because the thing is, you ain't shown us no love through your legal system, you know, your legal system, your educational system. You haven't showed us no love. How can we trust you when you say you want us to take a vaccine then? It's as simple as that.
Listen,
and that's why I
want to stick on the thread, because that vaccine talk, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even want to talk about the vaccine talk, because I don't know what's going on. I'm staying with
go ahead.
I'm dealing with, yes, man. But when it comes to this thing, Daniel Kaluuya killed it. You get me? All them lot killed it. But it's not just about the acting. The cinematography was amazing. The cinematography was so high. The composition. Even when they go to because remember, before he sets up the Rainbow Coalition, he goes to go and see the other group. I forgot what they're called though.
The Crowns, but they're really the young, the young lord.
The way they line up the shots is kind of like Fred Hampton's in the middle, and then they kind of piece in terms of hierarchy, his soldiers around him. Do you get what I'm saying? That takes planning. That takes real execution. That shows that a man has actually looked at the frame we're going to use and you set it up properly. So it ain't just best actors, you know. I'm talking DOP, cinematography, they deserve awards for this. You understand what I'm saying? You deserve awards for this. You get what I'm saying? But obviously, we know how the thing's going to be set. They're not going to, certain men are going to be nominated because it's like, okay, it's so good, how could you not? But do you know what? What's his name? Shaka King. I think I told everyone, certain people, I tell you two things that kind of influenced me and kind of made me think deep. Both of them went on Breakfast Club. Daniel Kaluuya and Shaka King. And one thing I didn't know about Daniel Kaluuya, he's humbleness.
Breakfast Club, or was it the Hot 97?
No, Breakfast Club one. It was the Breakfast Club one that I enjoyed the most. And Daniel Kaluuya, like he's, you know, even when he gets asked about how you feel and etc., he said, you know, he's like, he starts local. He's like, that's always been his process. Because Shaka King came on straight away and was like, listen, Hollywood's racist, isn't it? It's the most racist place I've been, and I come from New York and that. And when he just said it like that, I was like, rah, okay, so he's really saying it's racist. He said only one company, Warner Brothers, produced it. Do you get what I mean? Like, gave them the money for it, and it was off the back of my man being successful with Black Panther. Ryan Coogler. Yeah. He basically said if Ryan Coogler was not successful with Black Panther, this film would not have got made.
Look at that. Come on, say that again.
Imagine that. Were you telling me, man, I forget billions, you know? Man, I have to earn billions, yeah, before you can make a film that actually reflects what was done to our community.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what? I don't want to go away from Judas.
No, you're on point. You're on point.
But you see, America, those that ain't seen American Son with Nat Parker, yeah, Nat that Parker. Film come out. Now,
American Skin, you mean?
American Skin, bro. Okay, if you love Judas and the Black Messiah, go watch American Skin. Ghost from Powers in it as well. You hear me? Not man in it, bro. It's like the same thing. Like, it's a different experience. Everybody watch that tonight, blood. Everyone watch that tonight. It's serious. It's serious. And he's on Hot 97, and he says for black filmmakers, he says, man, what the life of a black filmmaker, you have to go to your oppressor to ask for money to make a film, yeah, that will put someone who looks like them in a bad light. That is the life of a black filmmaker. If you want to tell your own stories, yeah, that are important. What are you telling me? J. Edgar Hoover got Fred Hampton assassinated. Why would I not want to tell that story? But if I want to tell that story, I have to go to people that look like J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah, are they going to give me money to make this film? Listen, I ain't saying I'm a revolutionary. I got people in my life I love. 100% I love. You get me? I love. But it can make you go crazy. You might not want to make a film that's meaningless. You want to make a film that encourages your people. Because outside of the films that encourage your people, we had this conversation before.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Watches, cars, bad gal, that is not revolutionary. That's not going to help us. But Fred Hampton was 21. He was 21. Baby, how is he 21? Can you imagine a 21-year-old today with that much respect? With that much? Like, I will follow this man. I'm 32 years old. Do you think I want to see a 21-year-old here talking? I want to be like, you're 21. Fred Hampton looked like a big boy. And I think the problem is, to some extent, is you see our ancestors there, like in the 50s and the 60s and that, they were just way too mature for their age. They were just, they were something else, bro. They were something else. And we need to be like this. We need leaders like that.
And I'm going to say this. People, we're not advocating for you to pick up an AK-47 and march up and down and call it. It's not even that. And that's not even what gave Fred Hampton his power when you watch the film. You don't even see him walk around with a shotty more time. You don't see him walk around with the pepper. More time is his oratorial skills that they were afraid of. Because J. Edgar Hoover, and this in the paperwork, because on the documentary about called the Fred Hampton documentary 1990, it says that it was a group, members of the Black Panther Party, that broke into a local constabulary and found paperwork detailing the intelligence that they had on the Black Panther Party and the assassination of Fred Hampton, which led towards the lawsuit of them recouping and receiving in compensation 1.8 million. Originally it was for more than that, but anyway. point is, look at that word, counterintelligence program. Counterintelligence program. Meaning, if you're a counterintelligence, that means the person you're countering equally has intelligence. So you need a counterintelligence to counter that intelligence. The Black Panther Party was full of intelligence. It wasn't about walking around with the guns. The guns was there for self-defense under the American Constitution. I don't advocate carrying guns, nor do you, but it was really about educating themselves about the law. That's what Fred Hampton was empowered by.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, it's like, it's hard, and that's why this thing is so manipulative in some ways. It's like defense. How can defense be seen as terror? How can defending yourself be seen as terror? The police went into that office after that scene where they had the shootout, and they went in and blew up the office.
That's right. The first shootout. Yeah, that's right. It's enough to make you go crazy. Yes, sir.
It's enough to make you go crazy. You understand? Because how can the police have power like that? How can you blow up?
And it's accountability. If there's no accountability, then no one's going to be held accountable, and everyone's going to be given a free pass to keep doing their nonsense.
But they'll be so quick to say they're not. They'll be so quick to say they're not racist.
Yeah.
Like, how can I be seeing that, and you still defend yourself and say you're not racist, and be more outraged than my accusation of you being racist? Do you notice that in the world, people are more outraged when they're called racist, than what they say that offends you in the first place?
Exactly.
How did this? Listen, it's crazy, man.
It is crazy. And brother, what sticks to my mind is what you said. We have to go to people to ask for funding, distribution to tell our story. And that very same person we're asking looks like the very same person we're writing about. And our films are not fiction. They're all based on fact. Malcolm X, fact. Bob Marley, fact. Tupac's mom. Tupac is a product of the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
But we don't know that. There's a lot of people out here who are famous, who are now well-to-do, are products of the free breakfast food program offered by the Panther Party. Do you understand?
Listen, and not to go off, but it's weird because you see how for the black culture or black filmmakers, it seems like they have more success creating black stories in America.
And that's why we're going over there. That's why we're going over there.
But then it's still mad over there. I've been told for the last couple years, like, whether I wanted to move over there or not. But it's like, in terms of society, it feels safer over here than over there. But if you want to tell your stories in film, it's like you get more over there than over here.
Facts. And there's more of a... And Daniel Kaluuya said it like this, and I think it was on Breakfast Club. He said, or was it Hot 97? He said that there's more room to be black in America as an actor. There's more space. There's more room. But I feel, again, going back to accountability, we can go and petition and ask whatever corporations for funding, yes. But ultimately, whether they say yay or nay, we've got to do this. We have to do it. We have to have that Fred Hampton attitude and say, you know, I am a revolutionary and I'm going to do this anyway. I'm doing it.
But don't get twisted.
I'm going to write and create my own content and do it anyway. That's why I big up man like Freddy Krueger, Freddie Nwaka. I big up man like yourself, because you're doing it anyway. You're going to do it anyway. You're not waiting on anyone to give you no deal.
I thought about this because I was watching the conversation you was having with the other guests and I thought about this as well, because it's easy to just go, all right, this government, this police, this and that. Exactly. It starts within. So you understand? It starts within. And man, don't get it. I can't judge the youth too much of today, because I know at that age I was ignorant to some extent. You get me? It's easy to go, right, the young people, because listen, I was a problem back then. You understand? But if we don't get to a stage here where we don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like illegal activities and that is the easy route, but it's a lot harder not to do that. That's how I feel. It's a lot easier not to do that. It's a lot easier to fund yourself. You know, I'm going to pick up a camera. I'm going to try and do it this way. You know, that man, I'm moving through, the man are getting there quick. And same way William O'Neill, I'm not trying to compare it too much like William O'Neill, but he didn't want to go jail. He didn't want to go jail. Yeah, so he was ready to destroy our community so he don't have to go jail. But understand, man selling their thing, yeah, and man doing their thing, you're not making the community better, bruv. It's not making the community better, yeah? And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Sainsbury's or Asda or working here is a better option and that, but you will go jail if you keep moving this pack. You will go jail, yeah? And people will look at us. People will look at us as criminals if we keep doing these things. And I'm not saying it's not easy or hard or wet. I'm not saying this, yeah? But if it don't change, because they will look us up. They will look you up.
Yes, sir. So, true point, my brother. What other key point in that film, I'm very conscious of the time. I don't want to keep people on this student, but I want to talk about your project, what you're doing. But what other key parts of the film would you say pointed out to you as well? I mean, that car scene, people, when you watch it, the acting was brilliant. Lakeith,
you know what it was? I tell you what it was. William O'Neill, he gets interviewed and he says,
"Oh, in the documentary? Oh, sorry, the film."
Oh, no, in the film, it's both. I think it's both though. He talks about having what's the word? Having someone to look up to, and mentor, he goes for him.
Yes. No, bro. I got, hold on. Let me chime in on that. Facts. He kept saying a mentor and someone to look up to. That was the documentary as well. That's key, and I think that kind of connects with what Asia was saying just now, our guest who's from America, saying that it's our responsibility to provide for our young people, that they don't go and make that bad choice. So William O'Neill's mentor was the FBI agent known as Roy Mitchell. So if we don't get to our youth, somebody else will. Roy 100%. Mitchell, working for the FBI under the counterintelligence program, used William O'Neill to then destroy our whole movement, not even just our whole movement, but our individual who was a messiah for our people today.
And you know what? I'm gonna leave with this. I'm gonna leave with this question.
Go ahead.
In hindsight, did William O'Neill know at the time that he was destroying his community as epic as he did? Do you think in the moment he was doing it, when Fred Hampton was alive, did he realize? And that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve blame for what he done, but did he valued not being in prison and being around this mentor who's FBI more than what he was doing to destroy his own people? And until young people realize what they're doing now, in the long term, will destroy our community. We need to find a way to show them.
Come on.
We need to find a way to bring them forward so they can look back and go, nah, now I have to think. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
That's the pattern.
Because I think for free, he would not do that before he killed himself, and he could look back, he wouldn't have done it again. I don't think he would have done it again.
And you know what, brother, you said something so key. You know, and I think the agent played by Jesse Plemons,
he's mad.
He actually looked a bit like Matt Damon, and you know, he looked at every one of them were on point. Every character was real. There was no Hollywood about that. Everyone was true. Even the black brother who was in the Black Panther Party, he was an agent. Torelli Hill, George Sams, he played the character George. People go and Google George Sams. He was an agent in the Black Panther Party, as well as it wasn't just O'Neill. There was other black agents in there, and I'm going to say this: there were agents in gangs and organizations back then in Chicago and Los Angeles, and there are agents in organizations and gangs today, right here in London.
100%.
Right in London right now, when you see certain man beefing over a certain area, and then there's young agents. They're not even 30, 20 plus year old. In their teens, they're getting paid by police to do 100%.
Man, I realize, it's not about for self. Self is the short term. It's about your community.
The police know, and they may release files. So people, you're not today. Trust me, there's 100% things going on.
100%, brother.
Go ahead.
100%, fam. No, 100%. No. Because I'm saying, I know you got other guests than that. I'm saying my piece before I start ranting. Trust me, I'll rant till 9 o'clock, you know, because I really want people to. I really need our people to get it. I need it. It's because you can't ask your oppressor. Like it's not gonna work. Who would? Who would? Like if you were in power, who does give back? Do you know what I'm saying? It takes a different heart, you know, to a certain principle and morals. It takes a different level of morals and principles, blood. You understand? And when you're in, you know, when you're deprived, you get me. Do you know what? There's a scene when he's in the restaurant and he's with the FBI agent Lakeith. He's in the restaurant and he's eating the food and he's giving the information and he's like this to the waiter. Yeah, some more of that wine. Because he ain't never had that life. He ain't never had that life. Eating lobster and thing, you know, fam. Man, I have to understand when you got nothing, you know, blood. Lobster. When you got nothing, and bear in mind,
that's deep. That's deep. I love it. I love what you're saying, brother. Carry on.
Bruv, don't get it twisted. Listen, man get outraged when they do it to us, but when we do it to ourselves, we ain't got nothing to say.
Oh, whoa. And you know the clicking of the fingers and in all the lobster, it's the sign that he's getting bougie and he thinks that he's better. Also, and I'm going to say something that Danny Kaluuya said on Breakfast Club. He said, because he was asked the same question, you know, how do you feel toward O'Neill? And Daniel took a pause and he said he did what he did out of self-preservation. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. If you're told you have nothing, no money, you got to do this and do that, you're going to do whatever you need to do to preserve your life. So at the time, I believe O'Neill did not think that, oh, I'm being a Judas and a traitor to a black organization. I'm preserving my life. Boy, I don't want to go to prison and do no time. So I need money. I need to preserve myself. Oh, okay, I'll do this then. I'll do what I'm doing anyway. I'll do Grand Theft Auto.
It's 50-50. It's 50-50 because after the first class and the first meeting after he left the police station, he goes, "These ain't no terrorists." He goes, "They're not terrorists." He said it early. They're not terrorists. So why did you go back there and still destroy your community when you knew they were doing right for the community?
Yeah, and then coercion.
You didn't want to leave. You didn't want to go jail.
That's all it was. And how much money did he get paid? I'm gonna give
200,000 in it. It's 200,000.
He got 200,000 when he left the service in the 1970s. But when he got Fred Hampton killed, he got paid $300. Hear this science. There's no coincidence. $300. Take zero away from that 300.
Shit.
£30, right? $30. Check this out, people. There's a reason why they use the term Judas and the Black Messiah. How much money was Judas paid when he sold at Jesus?
Oh, was it 30 something?
30 pieces of silver.
Okay.
It's not a so they were mocking him. The FBI and COINTELPRO were mocking him.
It's deep.
They knew, you're Judas, we're going to pay you $300, which, by the way, back then would be the equivalent of 30 pieces of silver.
See, and again, what I'm trying to say is he sold out his people for these things and that. Again, we do it to each other. Certain man on the road will go lick down a man from the other end to go and get a piece of money. You understand? We will go in. So William O'Neill's a piece of shit. Don't get it twisted. But when you go rob your own brother, you get me? When you go lick down your own brother for the penny or for the coin and that, don't think you're that far away from him. Don't think you're that far from him when you lick down your own black brother. You get me? Your own black sister. You get what I'm saying? We got to take responsibility. We can attack them. We can use this opportunity to attack the government and police, but it starts within.
We have to start with self. We have to go with self. You're absolutely right. We have to go within.
Trust me,
and as we go into your movie, I want to conclude and speak about your movie. Yeah, I just want to say, you know what? Back then, they needed agents to go in organizations and watch, even the church. NAACP, Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party, Rastafarians over here in this country, the Black Power movement. Now they don't need so much of that. Guess why? Because we're giving information on this. When I say information, there's disinformation, but there's misinformation, and there's too much. A lot of people are giving out too much information on social media, you know, and don't realize that Alexa is recording, Google is recording.
That's why I gave it away. I threw mine away, bro. I had the Alexa. I just turned it off. I turned it off. I realized you keep it switched on and you say something and it's answering you and you're like, oh, I didn't even realize the thing was on. I just turned it off. I gave that away to someone. I was like, I don't even need it like that.
We're telling everyone, hey, this is where we're going. This is who our mum is. This is who our brother is. Son, daughter, family, where you live, where you go on holiday.
everything about you. Everything about you. You're telling it. Kevin, we're going to bring you on next, my bro. Everything we're saying. And who owns Facebook? Who owns Instagram? Who owns WhatsApp? Yeah, I'm going to do this, you know. And you got young youths out there saying, yeah, come see me in it. Snapchatting. Yeah. I'm going to see. So they don't even need manpower now. We're snitching on ourselves.
Yeah, as soon as they make it legal that they can use material from social media, everyone's fucked. As soon as they change the law that we can use your Facebook or your music videos to say, well, this is what you're saying. Music videos ain't
in court cases. They bring up man's YouTube videos where they say, he said you want to shoot his mum, you want to shoot his this, you want to go on his ends. This
so they did it already. So they did it already. I didn't even know. I come out away from that life. I don't even know, blood.
That's what man them are doing, bro. Man, them are going up and they're using, in magistrate courts, they're playing videos. So I work with young people, and not all of our young people are bad. And I say again, a lot of them, again, circumstance, we need to...
Yeah, circumstances.
But they're using Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok videos as evidence. So this year device is a snitch on you.
Yeah.
Women now are hacking into phones and finding out your password and finding out you're chatting to next year.
Well, I'm just
saying that's an example. I'm not supporting that kind of. You get me?
Yeah, 100%.
We chat too much, and what we're talking about is good because this is knowledge, it's empowerment and awareness. But certain things, I'm not telling everybody about my family, my nieces. Yeah, none of your business. Yeah, I'm not telling you when I'm going on holiday. Don't worry about it.
But again, I listen, again, the message has to be, man, know it's hard, fam. I know it's hard out there, but if you flip this thing, if you do that, they will catch, man, and you will be in the bin. Yes, we know Boris Johnson shut down youth clubs. We know this. Yeah. We know he's taken away schemes and apprenticeships. We know this, but that is not an excuse to do it because you will get nicked. When you're in the bin and you tell someone, you're telling the judge, rah, I never had this and I never had that. I feel you, my brother. I feel you. But when you're in the bin for 5 years and 10 years, bro, how much time are you losing? How much time are you missing? And it is what it is. It's just facts, man. It's just facts. It's not that man don't understand and have empathy. We have to do better. We got to start businesses, legit businesses. We got to invest. We got to do all of these things. I'm not even just saying, listen, and I'm not just saying we only got to do blacks. I'm not saying it only has to be with black people. You understand? I'm not just saying that we got to work together because we are human first. You understand? All it is the structure has been created where we're getting based on the color of our skin. We are human first. It's where you are on the earth that puts the shape in the skin. You understand what I'm saying? We're human first, but at the end of the day, this is the box they put us in. We're the people that are being oppressed right now. Other people are being oppressed, but we're being oppressed. And we've got to work together to get ourselves out of this. Because if we don't, who's going to help us, bruv?
And Fred Hampton set up the Rainbow Coalition. And this is what Daniel Kaluuya said. He said Fred Hampton set up the Rainbow Coalition, which is the unification of all colours. But he didn't do it at the expense of his blackness. He didn't compromise his blackness. He kept his blackness, his identity, but walked into the Rainbow Coalition. Which, by 100%. The way, where Jesse Jackson gets his Rainbow Push movement. When Jesse Jackson was running for presidency in the 80s, the Rainbow Coalition, the idea came from 21-year-old Fred Hampton.
I was just about to say, 21, you know, brother. 21, cuz. 21. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse for none of these young people because he was 21.
Come on. Exactly.
Come on, man.
Let's talk about your show, brother, before you relinquish, bro. Your team now. Just a brief. Give us a brief rundown. When it does it come out? What is it about? Tell us what you're doing on that front.
So in the struggle to find himself, Darrell misses the opportunity of in the struggle to find his place amongst his friends. Darrell misses the journey of finding his place within himself. Yeah, like. If you know negative energy is around you, don't feel because you're scared to be alone. Yeah, you have to follow bad influence. That's the point. You understand? This is for young people. You know, the journey making this film has been difficult. It's been difficult because it got so much traction. The original target audience seemed to have shifted, and then you're realizing people are commenting on your film when it's not for them. It's for young black boys who are out here who want to go out and do a madness, yeah? Like that. This is who it's for. That is my target audience. I'm trying to save my people, yeah? Because they will lock you up. I'm trying to save my people. They will lock you up. And man had to more or less self-fund this. You get me? More or less. You get me? Because who's gonna give you money to influence your own people? The money ain't with us like that. You get me? And everyone's trying to be a boss. Everyone's trying to do something, but that's fine. You get me? After this film is out, the net is out, and we'll all work together. You get what I'm saying? The film should be out next month. The short version of the film will be out next month. The feature length is gonna go through festivals, yeah, and then we're gonna have a premiere in summer for the feature, but the short will be available next month. Awesome. And basically, the short has been created to make you want to see the feature, and it will. It will. And you know you got a ticket there. You get me?
Brother, thank you.
Big up Keaton Sanders Brown. Big up Keon Marshall Phillips. Big up Kurt Smith. Big up my producer Angelica. Listen, big up Gatta.
The Rainbow Coalition, bring them up.
Come on, fam. Wakanda forever, bro. Trust me.
Right now.
Remember that, Wakanda, fam. Big up Chadwick Boseman. I was watching bare tribute videos yesterday. Big up Chadwick as well, fam. That's how I wanna leave my mark on this world, bruv. You see, like, if you see Daniel Kaluuya, the last films he's been making have been films that mean something. Black Panther,
absolutely.
Queen and Slim. You understand? So that's what I'm on. For you get me?
Legacy.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for the
thank you, my brother. For your time,
you know I'm gonna link up. Yeah.
Yes, sir, definitely. And we're gonna keep us posted. Shan, just before you go, brother, we've got another guest from America who's a filmmaker and actress. She's here. I feel I need to bring her on after you, but stay tuned, brother. And
100%.
You know, when the short film comes out, right here, we're going to be promoting that, brother. We're working. This is the Rainbow Coalition, international and global. We're Fred Hampton in the game, brother. We're going there.
I'm going to leave the website. If it's all right with you, I'm going to leave the website at the bottom in the comments.
Yeah, man. Put that in the comment section. Please do. No, we want you to do that, brother. We thank you for your time, King, yeah?
Thank you, man.
Love, my brother. About you. Thank you.
Love.
Okay, people. Okay, that was my good friend. He's making his own movie. We see you, Shan. We see you. Want to bring you right on. It is Black History Month in America right now. I'm going to bring you on right now. I know there's Kevin Bennett, psychologist master, therapist master, because this film's got a lot of trauma behind it. So we need to know, how do we overcome trauma? Because films can give you trauma. When you revisit things, it can bring back trauma. How do we overcome that? How do we use that in a positive way? Shani, you ready? I want to bring you back in. I want to bring you in for the first time. Not back in, but bring you in, as it's Black History Month in America, February, and we're celebrating and reviewing the film called Judas and the Black Messiah. Heavy film, directed by Shaka King, produced by Ryan Coogler, starring Daniel Kaluuya, starring Lakeith Stanfield, starring Dominique Fishback, starring Jesse Plemons, starring Ashton Sanders. So Ashton Sanders was in Moonlight. Algee Smith, Dominique Fawn, Martin legendary Sheen, and a host of many. Listen, bigging up the Yes Man feature film to come out. And Shani, my gorgeous friend, I've got a lot of gorgeous friends. All my friends are all gorgeous. And we're talking about Judas and the Black Messiah and its relevance today. And what does it mean with the... Hey, there she is.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Long
How you
time
doing?
no see.
How you living?
I'm living well. Oh, you want me to give you the American stereotypical drama? That's so incongruous to your platform, isn't it? Hey, Lou. I guess that makes me more relatable, right?
How's it going? How you doing? What you been up to?
I'm so good. I'm jumping into an interview a little bit later, but I didn't want to start my day without at least popping in and saying hello to you, Courtney. I miss you.
I miss you too, sister. Miss you as well. Miss you as well.
I'm planning a trip to back to the island of England in August.
I like it when you said that. Back to the island of England. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you know, because in my mind, it's an island just like the Caribbean. Otherwise, I can't reconcile my love.
We say we're small island people over here, yeah?
Oh my God! Like the way they do carnival anyway.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, carnival.
It's just like North Jamaica at this point, right?
Yeah,
Don't tell the Queen I said that. Don't tell Madge I said that. But jumping in, first of all, there's something that I think a lot, I don't know if it's been discussed about how we're booking Brits to do historically Black roles.
Yes.
That's an interesting concept. We can always come from a place of divisiveness. You know, there is something to be said about people who are born in America, who experience unique American racism and systemic racism. It's very posh and closeted, I think, in other countries. And here, I mean, we view segregation as cages. It wasn't just water fountains. It was the entire country kind of sequestered off from Black people. So there is a trauma there. But coming from a place of like 5D, unconditional love, unity, we have to take a look actually at England for why so many of your actors have to come here to get work. We can continue to like say, oh, this is ours. We can gatekeep Blackness. We can gatekeep trauma, which is never a way to heal. Or we can sit down and say, oh, okay, England is silent about this, because if we really turn the spotlight on what we're saying is, you know, we've got brilliant actresses, you know, retelling the same stories. And I don't even want to comment, but on when there's no true, you know, Michaela Cole can't be making all the Black roles for people. She can't cast 179 Black people in her series. And out here, there is more opportunity. So it's not really an issue of Americans self-hating as much as it is really well-trained Black actors have nowhere to go in Europe except for here. There's no infrastructure. And I find that to be the type of closeted, unspoken racism in England that we never address, because it's so hard to pinpoint. You know, why there's displaced British Black actors. That's I see them as like artistic refugees who have to come here to the commercial machine. So I find that to be an interesting conversation to have amongst yourself. How can we create and build opportunities, you know, replicable things, a process that can be repeated? And Sebastian Thiel and people like yourself are creating those pathways, but it needs to be supported by production houses that can perpetuate this in a sustainable way for Black actors where they're from.
Exactly. And shame on the establishment in England for not sponsoring and getting behind the likes of Idris Elba, the likes of the Danny Kaluuyas, the likes of Courtney Winston, the likes of so many hosts of, and you know, you find that there's no one actually poses. I mean, they put it to Danny Kaluuya. No one actually says to Benedict Cumberbatch or to there's so many British actors. No one ever mentions it to the Tom Hiddlestons.
Yes.
And all of the other actors who are trained as to why you're going to America to take American roles. No one ever says that.
Speak on it. That's right.
But it's Black actors, we're getting questioned when we've been selected to play certain actors. But no one's questioning Mr. Benedict Cumberbatch, who is a very good actor, by the way. I'm not, you know, disparaging him. But no one questions the Eddie Redmaynes or the Cumberbatches. But when Black actors want to get some work, which we can't get here, we're like, oh, why you come to take our roles? I'm like, oh, well, I get it. I hear you. I see your perspective. But it's not us. It's where we're from. Yeah. Where we're from. Shame on the British establishment that are not getting behind their investment and national treasures.
That's right. It's kind of like scary. Like if the true stories are being told and rising up, then they'd have to take a really close look at the systemic racism that perpetuates royalty, aristocracy, a right to the land. And also you said something very poignant. You said they're taking our jobs. And is that not the mantra for all immigrants? They're taking our jobs. But a white man can't do a Black. Here's the thing. White immigrants surreptitiously gallivant. Brexit really shut it down. But in America, we're not calling out Canadian actors. We're not calling out British actors. We're not calling out Melania Trump. They're white immigrants who are not treated the same. It's melanated immigrants who are seen as a threat, that are seen as taking these jobs, that white immigrants are perhaps white. They're colonizers. There's no natural white people in America. They're native. Native Americans are the natives to our country. And of course, that's different in England because the native of England are the Anglos. But then we ask the question, then why is all of their treasures Black? So it's an interesting, it's an interesting, you know, and I never want to be too political. I always want to come
No,
from
but
a
it's
place of
facts.
the
This is the
heart.
day to now open up and speak. We have to
But
speak.
we have to speak, and art, I mean, everyone says, what is protest art? And honestly, it's anything Black people are doing. The fact that we are taking up space and telling our stories is a protest within itself. It's a stand. And I believe that showing Black love is the highest form of protest because it humanizes us and reconnects us to spirit. And Judas and the Black Messiah to me is a love story.
Oh, wow. Please go ahead and unpack that. I like to
When
hear
we
your
look
perspective.
at Fred Hampton and his wife, this woman who sees him as a poet and even elevates him to seeing him as poetry, as the unspeakable force of life that inspired her. We never saw a sex scene, but we saw her pregnant with his child. It was
Dignity.
almost like it was a spiritual seed growing. And the
Come
fact that
on.
it was a Romeo and Juliet, I'm getting chills, it was a Romeo and Juliet death.
Yes.
He died
So-
in his sleep, not knowing.
Oh.
And she thought he was really dead, so she stood up. And it wasn't until she walked out the room that the bullets were placed into him. It was to me, it was Romeo and Juliet. Which is why Judas and the Black Messiah is touching us so much, because we were watching a love story the entire time. We wanted her to give birth. We wanted them to get married. We wanted him to be the leader, the head comrade, and for her to be this Nefertiti figure.
Yes,
This elevated Black woman. They broke the, and I believe when I was watching it, I was saying, wow, this was the last straw before the Black familial infrastructure shattered. Because I don't know how it is in London, but everybody's grandparents have houses. That's what, like, we all own homes. Everybody had jobs, you know, especially here in Los Angeles and in Windsor Hills. There's these big estates owned by Black people who did blue collar jobs. But then something about killing Bobby Kennedy, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, the way Stoli Carmichael died was nefarious. And, you know, the way, you know, Kwame is his name, the way Martin Luther King was killed, it stopped us from loving. It made us afraid to give over into that vulnerability of love, which goes into what you said about trauma. You have to let down your guard to love, to make love, to even to raise children. You have to let your guard down. And the body keeps the score, Courtney. It's such an incredible book. The Body Keeps the Score. And it talks about how people who experience trauma, you could see in the Black community as if we all went to Vietnam, or as if we all were in the World War I trenches, which really hit England, as if we all had strokes and heart attacks and abuse. We're all shell-shocked, but we didn't experience those things. But we have those PTSD memories in our body. Which is another thing I want to mention about Black acting. You know, in America, the trauma is so deep and the vulnerability is so scarce that sometimes we can't connect to our own stories because we haven't even healed from them and we're trying to tell them.
Oh, wow.
It's much easier for British people to step into those roles because it's not a part of their mitochondrial history the way it is for us.
Wow.
Because who went to therapy after doing their role in Judas and the Black Messiah?
It was
Lakeith. It was the American.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I never. Wow. Levels. Where's my light, man?
It's the hierarchy of needs. How can we be artists if we're hungry, if we're starving, if we're not breathing? We've got to, like, Maslow's hierarchy of needs says that a community needs running water and health before it can think about something as free. You have to have so much free time to do art, and you have to be so vulnerable. And Black women and Black men are not hard. There's no place for us to heal the trauma because we don't have the time.
Do you remember that
down and rest.
project we spoke about? Me and you.
We
spoke. I mean, obviously, I won't say it here, but the project that we got to write up,
which is a love story, which is a story of being disconnected. And I believe, and I don't want to, of course, and it has to be, we have to do it. Like, and even with COVID, it like fell right in to like that everyone's separated now. But I think it comes to a point where you're so lonely that these two individuals manifest. You can be so traumatized that you're disconnected, and then you can be so empathetic. You're the most empathetic in front of a tiger. You're in the mind of the tiger because you need to think like it in order to escape it. So you become so hyper present. And I think if we focus on the present, we begin to manifest and accept things that we need, like love. Whether this story is real or not, it's going to happen. You know, like real to those two people, or imagine they're tapping into something that they need so much that like the mind is creating it.
Jesus. Oh, wow.
So
you put another perspective in it. And you can see Lakeith in his interviews, when he's been interviewed about this film, you can see he's there somewhere, you know,
because that's also in our waters. Those are our Black American experiences. So he probably didn't have to tap so deep. But once you realize we're just swimming with scuba gear in deep water. We're in deep water, so we can tap into that. But now he has been faced with the truth of his essence, of the truth of his circumstance as a Black human being. Because that movie wouldn't have worked if the Judas character wasn't fully human, fully Black, and in a fucked up situation. It was circumstantial. He didn't wake up and say, I don't, you know, he's not Uncle Ruckus. He's not Uncle Tom, where he's like, I just don't like Black people. He was a product of poverty. He was a car thief who had no other choice because he was moved by Fred Hampton, and as Judas was moved by Jesus. They were so close. He was his treasurer. Just like the woman who killed Selena was her treasurer. There's this perverted sense of love that we have for our authority figures. But our first authority figure were white people, were police people, people who we are indelibly attached to, but that we also deeply want to get away from. So how can he fully love his leader when his example of leadership is oppression, it's perpetual boyhood through not having the freedom to make choices? And I had to tap into that. I just did a film called Dark Arrows, where I play a freed enslaved woman in California who becomes a thief, a trapper, and becomes very closely related to someone who looks like her generational oppressor. How she feels this love for a person, and simultaneously this, I need to get away from him. I'm not safe. This unsafeness, which causes sadness in people. So yeah, we have to tell these stories.
Where can we see that film? Where can we see that film?
It's post-production, and I cannot wait to tell you more. So we wrapped around February 5th. COVID safe. We were all sequestered in a city called Yucaipa for about 6 weeks. It's called Dark Arrows. It's produced by Two Bridges Productions. And it's a story, you know, the director, Eric Gregson, is really on the path of racial reconciliation through telling these very true stories. And I think racial reconciliation starts with us accepting that Brits are Black.
Come on. Say that again.
Yeah, I think part of the reconciliation is us accepting that Brits are Black.
Bingo.
That's racial reconciliation, by first not dividing our own body. I won't even get into the white against our will aspect, where every Black person is just 25% white, but you don't know no white people. You got a white grandmama.
Oh, boy.
There's a fight, there's a healing, and there's a trauma that needs to be addressed. And we can't expect the people who created these systems to heal themselves. We must lay down slavery. We must lay down colonization. We must lay down racial divide between our own people in order to see ourselves as fully human, fully connected with a global diaspora. And then we can tell these stories that push the entire culture forward. Because Black culture is global culture. And that includes healing our white brothers and sisters, but we can't ask them to heal ourselves. We must lay down what they did to us and reclaim who we are by first unifying.
Right. That's facts.
And I must say, most of our leaders were Grenadian, Jamaican. You know, it's not like...
Yeah, Malcolm X's mom was Grenadian.
Grenadian.
Yeah.
You're uniquely qualified to tell these stories. It's about the work.
That's why I have to big up my island. Jamaica, always, man. Always.
Yes.
Always.
And, you know, And I'm from both sides of, you know, Africa. We've got Nigeria, Ethiopia, and of course that European connection. But really, I am a product of the continent of Africa. And I think that we must claim that.
Come on. We're claiming it. We're claiming it. We're claiming it. Do you know what? And making our own productions. I mean, what my friend said just before you came on, isn't it a thing that we have to go to the ones that caused the trauma to get the finance and investment to create our own art to talk about our trauma?
I find that to be Stockholm syndrome. We can't do that. Fund your own shit.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. Like my dad, you know, you've got to ask the same daddy that beats you for food. It's not normal. Break away. Fund your own shit.
Come on.
Make it. Don't hold on to content. Don't compare your work through work created by the white gaze. Like, that's a big hindrance. Oh, it doesn't look like Martin Scorsese, so no, make it yourself. Make a black gaze. Make something that's so authentically yours that it becomes the new style. We can't tell stories the way other people tell stories. And they're never going to see our work as, they're going to look at it as a knockoff. They're not going to fund something they don't understand. We have to fund it. And that's what I'm working on. Like, I'm down to fund my own projects, small, whatever it needs to be. Tell little stories at a time. Stop trying to make feature films if you don't have the budget.
Beautiful.
And stop giving 51% of the ownership and stake of your work to people who are not equipped to tell your story.
Come on. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Listen, whoa. When are you coming back to England?
August.
August. Cool. Nice.
I need a lot more people to get that vaccine before I bring myself over there. You know?
Well, yeah, when you come over, by the time you come over, we'll have some projects ready.
I'm so excited, and we'll definitely be in conversation before that so we can hit the ground running.
100%, God willing. Sister, what you said was jam-packed with so much pearls of wisdom.
Thank you.
I love everything what you said. It's been great. And I know before you leave, so who knows the answer to the question? Okay, whatever the question is, I don't know what question. 21 Rules of Blackness. Okay.
It was Washington's 2 breakout roles. Were they the Glory and Malcolm X? Yes? Or it was a Devil in a Blue Dress?
Oh, Denzel Washington? His breakout, I think it was Malcolm X, you know?
Or
Steve Biko, maybe.
Which one?
The Steve Biko story.
Oh, maybe. Yes. I think it was Malcolm X or Glory.
I definitely feel Malcolm X because, I mean, no, he was known before then because he was on TV series.
But we're talking about the breakout, not like the sustainability.
Philadelphia, maybe with Tom Hanks.
Philadelphia. And of course,
because he's nominated, I believe.
Of course, Training Day. But
Training Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but just before you.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, babe. Before Mighty Quinn. Yes, Mighty Quinn. Yes. Yes, I agree. There's so many breakout roles in them.
Yeah,
Queen and Country. No. Queen and Country. Denzel Washington. I have to say, one of my favorite actors of all time. But no, because Denzel Washington tried to do a British accent, and I was like, no.
We try our best.
Let's forget Queen and Country. They filmed it on Aylesbury Estate, man, in Southeast London. No. That wasn't the Denzel.
London accent? Okay, Denzel.
You tried to do a Cockney accent, mate. It wasn't quite working. Nah, man. Nah. The
Cockney accent. Okay. He's a good boy. He is.
Not bad. Actually, not bad. I like that. He's a good boy. He is. Yeah, a bit of Mary Poppins. Victor and Dyke kind of accent you got there, innit, Mary Poppins? Victor and Dyke.
Doolittle. Liza Doolittle.
That was good.
I'm practicing. I want to come back.
When you come back.
I'm practicing. I'm also practicing my African accent, okay?
You got to get that East African and that West African vernacular in. That's the one, man. You remember the play you came to? I had to do that East African accent and differentiate with West and then South. That was something.
So different to roll your eyes. Yeah.
Woo! Go ahead.
All right. So I'm so grateful. Again, if you want,
Thank you.
you know, I'll keep you updated on Dark Arrows. I'm about to run to an interview to do
Yep.
to talk about my contribution to The Power of the Voice by Denise Woods. This is why I'm dressed up in my bed with no makeup. So The
Okay,
Power of the
girl.
Voice, I think you should get it. It's by Denise Woods, and she writes a little chapter on my voice journey. So
is it the voice in terms of voice, like
vocal
being a voice
production.
artist?
Yeah, so she's worked with Mahershala Ali, Halle Berry, Zoe Saldana, Will Smith, of course, so many others. And she's written a book, and I'd love to share it with you a little bit more. So that's where I'm off to today. And she wrote a little something about little old me. With all the giants, she also had a little something about me. So it's pretty humbling.
Nice. You got that Zoe Saldana flavor about you as well, man.
Thank you. Well, I miss you, love, and I'll see you in August.
Me too as well. We'll catch up. Thank you very much, darling.
You're welcome. Thank you for the work.
Lots of love. Thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you.
You're welcome.
God bless
Bye.
you. All right. All right, babes.
God bless.
God bless you. That was my good friend. Yeah, she sounded like Mary Poppins. She's trying to, hey, you know what? We always go in for a long one. Now, I wanted to bring in some other guests. I don't want to keep people long, man. I really don't want to keep people long. If you haven't seen the film, go and watch it, man. I love the point that the sister was making regarding, at the end, it's a love story. That Judas and the Black Messiah is a love story. I love that. I love that comparison, sister. You're a queen for that. Yo, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm not too bad, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, listen, it's a blessing to have you on. And I know you was meant to be the first one to come on, bro. So I believe that you'll be the last guest for today because I'm very conscious of the time. And I know you've seen the film. And we don't worry about spoilers because this is a film that is based on a documentary, a real life event that took place with Fred Hampton and those in the Black Panther Party movement and the FBI. So tell us what you think. Tell us all the strong points of the movie. Go ahead, man. Spoil away, as I would say.
Okay, right. First of all, I thought it was ran parallel to what I've read in the Bible, you know, with Jesus and Moses. And for instance, take Edgar J. Hoover. He was
Edgar Hoover,
yeah, he was equivalent to King Herod, who was after Jesus after he was
born.
Right? Okay.
Okay, we see you, brother. We see you. We see you, brother. If not this week, next week. But if you want to stay in the room, we'll bring you on because Kevin's got some things that he's going to drop. But brother, what you just said there, King Herod. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, no. If you want to put Kevin on, I'm
No, not now. No. You go ahead. We're bringing you on.
Okay.
You carry on, brother. You carry on.
All right. Yeah. Another key point was William O'Neill. He was equivalent to like Judas Iscariot, right? As we already know, Judas.
Iscariot, yeah.
And the kicker for me was towards the end, where when he went in the restaurant to get his reward, it was like $300 and a key to a petrol station, and that was equivalent to like 30 pieces of silver.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Now, when you had the likes of Edgar J. Hoover describing Marcus Garvey as Moses and Fred Hampton as
Messiah, Black Messiah,
the Messiah, these guys already know the Bible inside out. They know it. Yeah. And if you check out the book of Daniel, book of Revelations, it gives a physical description of what Jesus looked like. Yeah. You know, hair like lamb's wool.
That's right.
Brass.
Yeah.
And in the book of Daniel, described his hands as being like brass as well.
And funny enough, Daniel Kaluuya is the one playing the Black. Daniel Kaluuya is playing the Black Messiah, and in the book of Daniel, it describes Jesus being black. Woo!
Yeah, I can see the connection there. Daniel, the book of Daniel, Daniel Kaluuya already.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you know, regarding like William O'Neill, he was in a desperate situation, right, where he had no choice. You call it self-preservation. I just call it he couldn't be accountable for his actions. So he became selfish enough to survive out there by selling out his own people. He had no choice. So hence why he was known as Judas.
Jeez.
Yeah, yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, this whole this film here, when you go back to like the times of slavery from like Plymouth Rock to now, it's just a continuous cycle. How Fred Hampton lost his life, it was equivalent to like how Breonna Taylor was shot in her apartment, and her boyfriend, who was there at the time, he survived.
Wow.
Yeah, he survived. Okay, even though they tried to like have charges put on him for like attempted murder of a policeman, which were later dropped.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then you look at like the likes of was it Tamir Rice?
Tamir Rice, Mike Brown, Eric.
Yeah,
Mike Brown. Yeah,
and the guy in Texas. The guy in Texas. I've forgotten his name again. The brother in Texas, the one that was shot by Amber Geiger.
I know who you're speaking of. He's from. I know who you're speaking of. I know who you're speaking of, but I can't recall his name at this second.
Yeah. Again, all of these people were murdered in their homes.
In their homes, brother. That's right.
Yeah. Home invasion.
Yes, sir.
Home invasion. And my conclusion to that is simply this: in America, nothing has changed since our own ancestors ended up on the shores of America. It's this perpetual cycle where, you know, they've lost their lives, they've had their freedoms taken away from them. They still, you know, it's like a lot of regression. And those that
both from Gene.
Yeah, well, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the brother. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, what we're victims of is indifference as well as hatred. Yeah. And the modern day Judases of this time now, right now as we speak, is sadly Herschel Walker, who is like speaking out against reparations for Black Americans.
Herschel Walker, yeah. He's a former NFL running back for the Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings. Friend of Donald Trump. Yeah. But anyway, we're not going to go into that. But I like the way you done that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Man. But as far as I'm concerned, that film was well acted. I mean, I heard before that they had issues with the casting of, you know, casting Daniel for the role. But as far as
they have issues because they chose him from when they were shooting Black Panther. Yeah, it's just that the Americans. Sorry, go ahead.
In America, among some Black Americans, they weren't happy because, you know, they felt like as if a lot of British actors are taking the jobs of Black Americans. But as soon as I sat down and watched that film, all of that just evaporated away.
Come on now, you don't even see Daniel. You saw Fred Hampton.
That's right.
You see Fred Hampton. You don't hear it. You know. Yeah.
You know, but you know, I mean, they casted the right guy for the part. Daniel, he did a great job.
He was born for that part, 100%.
Yeah.
But if you not noticed, as we wrap up, that castings and to the actors that are watching this, they only cast you based on your previous roles that you've done. And I remember Denzel Washington said that Sidney Poitier told him that it's not the jobs you reject that make you, but it's the roles that you accept. That's what tells you, that's what you're telling the industry who you are. And we need to start telling the industry, this is who I am and this is the role I will take. Daniel's made good choices. He Get Out, Queen and Slim. People, go and watch Queen and Slim. Beautiful love story again. Romeo and Juliet, that analogy. All of these films are based, apart from obviously the real life biopics, most movies are based off Greek theatre, tragedy and comedy, and love, romance. So Queen and Slim is based off that Romeo and Juliet kind of premise. Daniel Kaluuya also in Black Panther Marvel movie. And on the set, of doing Black Panther. He was approached by Shaka King and Ryan Coogler to do this role. He was approached. You know, Jordan Peele saw Danny Coogler on Black Mirror, 2011. And it was only in 2015 that it started to take off. And that's how he got the role in Get Out. And it's just been going on. So he's leaving us, he's choosing the roles carefully. And if I made a mistake, maybe, I think Denzel, maybe what the advice was, it's what you choose that defines you, but also what you reject that defines you. I'm not sure if it's one of the two, but both, there's truth in both. Yeah. So actors have to be very careful. It's not a coincidence that Black Panther, a lot of people think the term Black Panther came from the movie, the comic written by Jack Kirby. Nope. It didn't even start off with the Black Panther Party in the 60s. The first time when Black Panther was properly used was the battalion known as the Tank Black Panther Battalion, which was a regiment of black men fighting in 1942. The number 42 is very significant because Jackie Robinson was a part of that Black Panther Battalion in 1942. And then Jackie Robinson, the baseball player, started to wear number 42. Then Chadwick Boseman acted as Jackie Robinson with the number 42. And Huey P. Newton, one of the founders of the Black Panther Party, was born in 1942. So many links.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
As to what we choose as in our, and not just actors, but in life.
Yeah.
You're casting yourself constantly in life because your life is a canvas and we are the artists. So yeah, let's conclude anyway, bro, because what you said was powerful. And I want to make sure we get all of that in there. Yeah, number 42, man. Go and check it out. Google Black Panther and the number 42. You'll be surprised what you see. Yeah. You know, it's and as you said, these people, J. Edgar Hoover, and you know what we really should be thinking about, that was J. Edgar Hoover in 1969 through the 70s when he died in the 70s, early 70s. Yeah, we're in 2020, 50 plus years on. 50 plus years on. Am I doing my maths right? Yeah. 52 plus years on.
Yeah.
Imagine what they got now to survey the public. What kind of tricky schemes they're doing now to infiltrate.
Well, they got the data centers that where everybody's phones data is actually backed up to, including that from other social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, everything. You know, they got like, So as far as I'm concerned, best thing to do, if you have anything real personal, always delete it within an hour. Because like on WhatsApp, I noticed they would actually start backing up data at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
2 a.m. The best way to avoid it, for them to back up that data, try to like delete it before 2 a.m. or switch off your phone. Yeah. Put it on airplane mode.
Get back to landline, people. Get back to your landline telephones, man. Nobody's got landline again apart from our parents and our grandparents.
Yeah.
Get back to landline.
Sure.
And you know what? Most importantly, if people are moving moral, then we have nothing to worry about. Because a lot of people tell me, they're coming off WhatsApp. But I'm saying, if you're not saying anything immoral and criminal and unlawful, why are you afraid?
Sorry, why not? Sorry, repeat that question again.
I was saying, if people are not doing anything immoral, illegal, unlawful, then they don't need to come away from WhatsApps, because everyone's coming away from WhatsApp and going onto Telegram because of this message of WhatsApp's being surveyed. WhatsApp was surveyed from early.
Yeah, sure.
So it makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What happened here is I just think that people don't like the idea of being profiled.
Yeah.
We're already being profiled. From the day we got our names were like, we were given birth certificates, we were given a national insurance number, we were always being profiled, monitored.
So Leo, what we're saying is, bro, you're saying yes, and now WhatsApp is gonna be synced to Facebook. It's not about being afraid, it's about privacy. My guy, I'll tell you something. everything you're doing right now is being monitored. So if we're going to go on that level, we better lock off totally from social media. Don't have internet banking. Don't do anything on your, don't have a, in fact, get rid of your smartphone. Yeah. Because all of it is being monitored, my guy.
Yeah. Okay.
All of it. And that's why I said, if you're not moving immoral, you have nothing to worry about.
Okay.
So for me, I'm not going to be coming off WhatsApp because of what, let me tell you something. Don't follow the crowd. If people are saying, yeah, everyone come off WhatsApp and go to Telegram, try no, I'm not doing that. You can all go to Telegram and whatnot. I'm staying on WhatsApp. Because do you think that Telegram's not being monitored? Really? You really believe that?
Oh, yes.
Counterintelligence program 50 plus years ago, they were monitoring, they could hear conversations miles away with a certain microphone that will point in a certain direction. That's what Lakeith was saying on the Breakfast Club. Do you really think 50 plus years now that they haven't got the tech to monitor certain things? So for my thing is, I'm not afraid because I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is all about privacy. I agree with you, Leo. But the reality is, you're on this, and we're talking about Judas and the Black Messiah. So, so my thing is, we can't live in fear. We got to just do what we need to do as long as it's done morally correct, in tune with the law. When I say law, I'm talking about morals. I'm not talking about written law. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
The Bible even says that they seek to listen to you in the exalted assembly. Even the Bible talks about, makes prophecies of people being watched. And in James Bond movies, you can see they got surveillance tech that now is just only coming out. So for me, I don't business. And even when I think my phone's been monitored, I say, yeah, listen good. Because what I'm saying, I'm not afraid. I'm speaking facts. And I don't care about what people think. Then that we've enslaved ourselves if we start to feel afraid. The slave master don't even need to be in the room, because the slave master's thinking is inserted in our minds with our fear. Don't be afraid. The key thing is, move. If we're moving right, you have nothing to fear, blood. Nothing to fear. That's my logic anyway. Because we might as well lock the whole thing off if we're gonna think. That's my thoughts. And that's me anyway. That's me. I want to move moral and just do the right thing, and that's it. I'm not gonna silence myself and censor myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
I hear you. By the way, just one thing I wanted to add on about Facebook. Best thing to do is to go into settings. Everybody go into their settings. Go into like was it off? I think it's called off Facebook activity, right? Clear the caches out and disable it. Yeah, that will clear out all the transactions where you've actually made like online transactions. Yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook, I might even come off Facebook because Facebook, for me, Facebook is just getting a message out there, telling people what's going on. But I try and avoid getting into debates and conversations with people online because it's long.
I really post. There's only a couple of groups I'm actually a member of that I, look into from time to time when I get the chance. But, after a while, the novelty kind of like wears off.
Yeah.
So you get distracted by other things in a positive light or a slightly negative light. And, besides, I've made some genuine friends on there who I like to just...
Yeah, there's genuine people on there. Good for that. It's a double-edged sword. You can't tell too much of your business, but at the same time, it's a good networking tool.
Yeah,
very good. Bro, I would love to keep you on longer. I love what you were saying, your analysis and your insight into the film. People go and watch it, Judas and the Black Messiah. It was awesome. And I don't believe it's a coincidence it's come out from Warner, brother. Warner, brother. You see the police coming, Warner, brother. Thank you, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, man. Hey, kudos to all your other guests as well,
Yeah,
really
man.
Enjoyed,
thank you as well. You are one of our guests and regular listeners. Thank you, my brother.
Sure, man.
And we'll catch up definitely, yeah?
Yeah, man. Have a good night, yeah?
Love, man. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, as well. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Nice one.
Bless up.
Take it easy.
Bless up, brother. I bow to you, man.
Pleasure, man. See ya. Bye.
Take care.
Yeah, take care, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Trying to cross this thing. How do we... Oh, there it is. Yes! Sweatstorm Sweatstorm's still here. You know what, I'm trying to, I think you have to leave off of it, you know, Sweatstorm.
Oh, right, sorry. Okay, all right.
No worries, my bro. I got you. Cheers, man. So yes, that was Sweatstorm. And I know we've been going on for 3 hours. Lately, we've been going on for the long... Oh, okay. Okay, all right. What do we got right here? Solomon. I see you, brother. I see you, and I know it was meant to... Yes, I enjoy open-minded talk. Rumor has that it's related to free speech, which is politically about societal control. Yes, sir. Yes, Leo. You know what, people? We're going to have part 2 because it was a bit... We had to bring on everybody, and the time's gone into nearly 3 hours, and I don't want to take the piss. We post... This is YouTube. This is Instagram. Black Film Institute. Black Car Speakers Lounge every single Sunday, 5 p.m. This was just a review. And we haven't even got tip of the iceberg. Now you've got some kind of foundation. Now you know what you're watching. Go and watch and enjoy that film. Go and watch and enjoy that film. I want to say big happy birthday to actor, man like Kevin Lane. Happy birthday to you, family, King. And happy birthday to your young princess. Big, big happy birthday and happy Earth Day, in truth. I want to say thank you very much for everyone joining us. Kevin Lane, we're going to do a part 2 next week, man. Definitely. We'll bring you in because I know your mind is very analytical when it comes to film, as you are in the industry, as I am, brother. So I want to say thank you to Asia, to Shah, to Sweatstorm, to Kende, to Two Juices Films. All of you, we got all of you in the space of, whoa, jeez. We're going to do Zooms and all that, man. We're going to do Zooms. Love, my brother. Love to you, King. Love to Motown singer Sean. I see you. Me and Sean, right? We've done a play, Dream Across the Ocean at the Empire, man. I never forget that. 21 Rules of Blackness. I see you. Jobless. Jobless. The great work is only done with you, my brother. Remember, go and watch that film. Watch it once, twice, thrice. Study it. Some of the key pointers today was that, look, Judases are made in the community. They don't just come out and they're made from neglect. But we must take responsibility. We must provide for our youth so they don't go on the way and the direction of being mentored by the likes of people that don't have the best interests in our community. So that's what I saw in the character of William O'Neill, portrayed by Lakeith Stanfield. And we have young revolutionaries out there, young as 21, like Fred Hampton. We got a lot of Fred Hamptons out there, male and female, black and white, actually. We've got a lot of young Fred Hamptons out there. We need to nurture them. And we need to destroy that seed of Judas that may be planted in some of our young people out there. And go and watch the film. Big up and congratulations to all the cast members, all of you, if I could name all of you. Oh, man, I keep saying the sister's name. She smashed it, Dominique Fishback. And the one that played the wife of Fred Hampton, Dominique Fishback. You smashed it. All of you smashed it. Ashton Sanders, you smashed it. All of you. Nick Flink, you smashed it. And Lil Rel Howery, you smashed it. Jermaine Fowler, who's going to be in Coming to America Part 2, playing the son of the King, Eddie Murphy's character. Smashed it. Martin Sheen, veteran actor, you smashed it. And all of you, obviously Danny Kaluuya, you smashed it. We've got to catch up. I want to catch up with Danny Kaluuya, man, some way, somehow. He's nominated. I know it's hard to get him, but we can get it on this platform. So thank you very much to all of you. And Shaka King as well, director, writer, producer as well, Ryan Cougar, you smashed it. Listen, we're going to get all of these people on the platform. This is Black Hollywood. We can do this. We can do this our own and tell many stories, especially about victory, to heal us of our trauma. Peace and love from Black Film Institute and Black Cast Speakers Lounge. From Courtney Winston to you. Take care. Have a wonderful week ahead, because it will be, because you said so. You said so. You are the director and the star of your own movie called Life. Make it happen, because you are the star of your own movie known as Your Life. Peace. See you next week, part 2.